Two hearts drifting just outside the light. I can feel the distance in your eyes, like you're already saying goodbye. And I don't know where we lost the thread. Some things still hanging left unsaid. But every time I think of letting go, something in me says don't let this close. Maybe we're bent, maybe we're bruised, maybe we're scared of what we're gonna lose. Maybe there's still something worth saving. If you're still here, then I'm still waiting. I don't want to hide inside my chest. Even when you're gone, I feel what's left. I'm finally finding something real, something I don't have to kill. I'll be the fire, I'll be the flame. I'll keep you warm inside the rain. If love is danger, let it stay. I'll burn for you anyway. I remember how you used to smile, how we make a little feel worthwhile. Now we're standing on opposite sides, acting like we're too strong to try. And I know love ain't always easy grace. Sometimes it looks like staying in place, choosing one more day instead of leaving, choosing us when neither one's believing. Maybe we're tired, maybe we've changed, maybe we're both carrying too much weight. But if there's a road back to each other, I don't wanna spend my life wondering. Stay for the hard days, stay for the doubt, stay when the words don't wanna come out. Stay.
Muted. Damn, everything's fucked up. I just literally restarted my entire computer. Hopefully you hear me now. Hold up. Me. You said I'm muted. Let me make sure, because everything. I literally just started my computer and come back up. You said you can only hear music, or you can hear the music. Okay, that's something. Something's working. Oh, okay, I got you. Hold up. Let me take that down because the music's down. So you should have me now from what I'm looking at. So you should get me now. Everything else was like all screwed up because I just literally restarted my computer. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I literally had to restart everything because everything was all screwed up. So let me actually mute this, and let me mute this in case they come into effect. And let me mute this because I don't need that there. I'm not playing any video games tonight. And let me mute this because I don't really think I'm going to be doing much. Well, we'll see. So as you can see from the title of the stream, from anyone who decides to really come in, I know you guys used to me being on time. You're not used to me doing this whole Negro time, right? Right. Hey, okay, so that's working for sure. So people are not used to me doing Negro time and being a little bit later than I normally am. So I know people are like, oh, look at him, he's being a real ninja today, because he's not necessarily being on time, you know. And it is what it is. What it is, you know. Sometimes we get technical difficulties that get in the way, but that should be nothing new to you guys when it comes to me, because the one thing that I'm not necessarily the best at is audio. You guys want your music, you guys want your visual effects. I'm your guy. Audio, you guys complain till the sun come up, but I noticed that you guys never do anything that actually help fix that. So you're gonna have to do whatever it is. Anyway, as we pour into the room, do everybody a favor, including the people that's already watching. Make yourselves well known. Be sure to say what's up to everybody in there. The man himself, Cellulite Podcast is in the building. He said blackout time. I don't know. I think you had enough. For the blackout time. I'm be honest with you, sir. You've had a pretty good time already doing that as is. So we'll see where it goes from there. Part of me, because I'm not really thinking about what I want to do today. Today, this Monday was really, I already had it scheduled in my book, which I already put up. But in my book, I was going to be scheduling to look across social media, to look for different platforms, new people, random lives, whatever. But at the same time, I was on a phone with a couple of friends. We were on a group chat and got myself a little bit drinking a little too much than I want to. So I said, what I want to do, I think I'm going to go online and I'm going to talk to you guys. You know what I mean? So technically, I wasn't even going to go technically. even as I say that, so you know that the thoughts in my mind are already going off. And I was wondering, what do I want to cover with you guys? Should we go about in different areas to see if there are any new spaces that we're going to go about? Are there particular conversation that you guys want to bring up and talk about? Or not for nothing, and I'm hating even thinking about this, but Will, you're here in the building. Should I try, which is a strong emphasis, try to give a little bit of my thought, my analysis of what the fuck just took place and what I was actually reviewing. And for those who know, which I'm thinking probably half of you don't right now, there are part of you who do not know what the hell I'm talking about, but you probably saw the short that I dropped early today for Cellulite Podcast, which was rather intense. I'm not gonna lie. It would take me just a little bit to prep for it, but being that is a bit of a cachet kind of thing going on right now, I should get the majority of what's going on here. Oh, I do, and I feel like it's the meme, and so there is partly something there. So I do have something up. I just wonder if I am in the right capacity to give this because, well, here's the truth of the matter. At the end of the day, it won't actually mean anything simply because if people want you to be the bad guy, let's just be honest, they will paint you out to be the bad guy. It doesn't matter how salient you are or how solid your point are, people will actually look you out to be that way. Whether it's for or against whoever they view as their side. Can we just keep it a buck for a moment there? Can we just really do that for a moment there? So there's really no you're on the good side, you're on the light side or the dark side. It's about whose side they choose to be on. You have Sith and you have Jedi. And while I have no problem referencing Sith and being on the side of the Sith because I love the Sith side, there are people who will, even if you're on the Sith side, they will look at you as Jedi. You know, there's nothing you can really do about it. And part of me is wondering if I really want to go through that. I thought it was cool just for me to drop the actual short that I did because me looking at all that stuff was like, holy shit, there's so much stuff. And I don't really know what I will recall because it was so many hours ago. And I had a whole lot of jumbliness in there. But I do have a particular perspective. And I think the way that my mind would go into it would not be a for or against position, believe it or not, but rather it would be a position of a person being a fly on the wall. And I know a lot of people don't really understand the perspective of doing that. And let me know. Let me know if you are the type of person who can do that. Because it takes a very non-biased or willed person to not drag themselves into their own personal feelings or even the feelings of other people that they're empathizing with in that moment to come forth and have an agreement with things. And I've already had some thoughts about this already, so I've already thought a little bit about it. But at the same time, there are probably things that I'm probably gonna end up mixing up because outside of the content that I watch from Cellulite and even from Beans, I did see his content as well. At least I saw more than half of his content. I was waiting for something to really kick off. I didn't really get it. So I don't want that to be biased as well. But there's so much to be looked at, and I think a lot of people don't want to look at the perspective when it comes to those things. And I don't know if I really want to cover it because I don't know if I'm really in the right position to do so. So you guys let me know. You let me know. We're already late. I know not something that we normally do here on this channel, but you know, when technical difficulties happen, there's not much to do about it. Outside of that, I wasn't really planning to be online. So that means we're kind of leaving it up to everybody as a group. If there's something in specific that you want to cover, I'll be honest with you now. If it's Canoverse bullshit, I can't really help you because I don't watch it. So if you're saying, well, let's talk about the stuff that happened with so and so, first of all, you have to hope that I know so and so, which I most likely do not because I don't follow drama content. That's the first thing. So the only reason I even ran across Cellulite's podcast is because he's actually someone I rock with, and it's been a while because I've been so busy with my own real life and even doing content that I didn't get the time to watch it. So honestly, his content was the only content I've really done some real digging in with today. So if you guys got something else that you wanted to start talking about in reference to other content creators, I'll be honest with you, I got nothing for you. Now, if you just have particular questions or whatever, then we can get into that. But it's really up to y'all. If not, we can end this a good night because quite frankly, I'm good. But I'm in a rather talkative I'm in a talkative mood. And when I say talkative mood, I'm kind of biting my tongue on that as well because when I say talkative mood, I'm almost thinking that you guys are thinking, you know, piano shit. And that's not necessarily the case. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of getting what your feed is and what your thoughts are. You said Nikki Silver Stack or sub. How's it going? Um, I don't know. You're in here. I'm not recall. Are you a new to the channel? First time here? Well, I appreciate you actually being here in the building. Normally we would have some people that start crawling in, but this is not normally a time or the way that I do things. So I think a lot of people are gonna realize, what the fuck? Russell's live right now. He shouldn't be live right now because he would normally let us know ahead of time. And I'm kind of just doing a spur of the moment, but I do appreciate you being here. Uh, Will, being that you're in the building, right? What do you and you've been here as one of the first people speaking in the building. What do you think is the best course of action that we should start taking for today? Should this be a conversation that we look into leaving up to the audience to ask what they're really trying to go through or really what they want to talk about? Should this be something that we try to jump into a particular conversation or particular talking points or thoughts? I like to for my normal part of the stream is to go through narratives and talking points, but I don't really have a topic for people for today. So that's why I said, what we doing tonight? I'm leaving it up to you guys. Cause I said, as much as I bring a lot of topics to you guys, especially for a Monday, which normally I try to have myself very busy for Monday nights, I'm kind of open to see what's on your minds because you guys do way more diving into social media than I do. I keep telling you guys when I'm not online doing content, I'm not watching content. Let's just be honest with you. I'm doing real life shit. Like I'm working or I'm working on other stuff. I'm really not online at all. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Most people are not most people are not into that. Most people are not into investments. Most people are not into stock markets. So that's not gonna help a lot of people in this space. Um There's no disrespect to what you do or what you're interested in. It's just not going to help a lot of people in the space. A lot of people are suffering with real life shit. So paying bills, dealing with family, dealing with relationships, dealing with their jobs, things like that. So the idea of worrying about stock markets or prices of silver, shit like that, you say that, but you can only say that because you're in the comfortable position to be able to talk about silver and things like that. Not everybody's in the same position as you, and that's something to actually take into account. You know, it's nice that you have the privilege of being able to focus on that, but most people, the majority of people, are not able to focus on that. So you can say big mistake, but honestly, you're in a privileged position to do so. Most people are not in a position to do so. So it's not a mistake. It's just they don't have the resources that you do. And that's not their fault. That's not their lack. That's the majority of people. You're actually the one that's privileged. I have things that I've invested in as well, but I also don't talk about it because this is not the thing that's the norm for people. So I don't bring that as content. You know what I mean? So so you have a job that pays you $16 an hour. I have a job that pays me much more, but it's not fair. The cost of living of where I live at is very different. Plus my job. So it's different. You know what I mean? You may live in a more rural or Midwest or whatever kind of area. I'm in New York City, so the cost of living is very different. So I get paid a very different thing. That's all. Not to say that what we spend is any different. It's just that the cost of living is different. That's all. I know. I know someone who's not living in Orlando. Ooh, no, I did know somebody who was living in Orlando. They're no longer living in Orlando though. So you said they have an audience and their content can handle. um, I wonder. I wonder how impactful they will be. I think this is something very, very important. To be honest with yourself, I don't know. I think a lot of people believe that their content is going to be impactful, but I think it's only impactful for them because it's the things that they're interested in. I'm not sure that it's going to be impactful to other people, which is why I don't necessarily have a problem with the other sectors, especially the sectors you're in, because the things that you guys have a lot of conversations with are the things that people are interested in. I just don't think it's everything that's going to be beneficial to those people. A lot of people love hearing conversations and talking about conversations, but they're not really looking for solutions. They just like circling a drain, as I say. They imagine you put soap in your hand, you lather your hands up and you put it in the water. You put it in the water and you're washing your hands. Think of the community as the sud bubbles. Those who are sitting at the top are just at the top of the sud bubbles. But eventually it is a race to the bottom. And for those who choose to actually put themselves in a position to be at the top, they're the ones who are doing better because maybe, just maybe, they have the chance to have enough current and wind and force to blow them off of the drainage path, and they can fly up in the air and go somewhere else and land on the side of the sink or on the wall or whatever. But the majority of the people who are sitting in the content space is literally a race to the bottom. Like, I gotta just keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people won't look at it that way, but I gotta keep it a buck. So you understand you're from Brooklyn? I'm here in Brooklyn, so we get it. We get it. I believe it or not, I used to live in Florida. I didn't live in Orlando. I lived on the other side. I was on the golf course. So I lived in Fort Myers. So I was on the other side of where you're at. Well, I guess Orlando is more close to the center. So I would have been the other side of Fort Lauderdale. So I was on the other side. I was on the golf course. Nikki. And of course, we got my guy OG Do Dirty in the building, of course, saying hit the like button, hit the like, hit the like, hit the like, hit the like when you're hearing the stream. Like buttons are free. Like buttons are free. I don't really harass people for anything else. So I just ask for engagement. I ask for people not to be lazy. I ask people to try to engage in conversation. And if anything else, to bring forth something that could be interesting that's not necessarily gender bias. Because we're kind of fucking done with that shit. We're kind of done with it. It's everywhere. It's always and forever. And I'm not looking to sing all that shit and every other Happy Days fucking song that comes along with it. Right. So what exactly do you guys want to talk about today? I've been a little bit of a dry spell ever since we did our ladies' night stream, and even I asked the ladies about some things that might be interested in it, but I really didn't get much right now at the moment. So we'll see what happens from there. Um, I know there are guys crazy enough that ask me, "Hey, you did a lady night stream, wrestler. Are you gonna do Are you gonna do a gay? I was about to say, that's crazy. I was about to say a gay night stream. That is crazy. That would have been that would have been absolutely insane to said that. That would have been absolutely insane. But they would have been asking basically if there's a midnight stream. And I'll be honest with you, there's not really gonna be a men's night stream because the majority of people who do get on panels, who bombard panels and channels, who want to speak as much as possible and be his voice versus whatever, is men. It's actually when there's so many men that show up on a panel, a lot of women don't actually pop up. So what's the point in really having a men's stream? Especially because if we have a very centralized stream, men come in and try to derail that motherfucker anywhere, right? Can we just keep it a buck? So I really don't see the reason to have a men's stream unless you guys can actually focus on a men very specific topic. And I realized through cognitive dissonance and through observation, you guys are not really able to focus. I think the men of today are more disillusioned, but also more distracted than ever. You guys have a problem with. You guys are some of the most ADHD people that I've ever met in my goddamn life. I'm just gonna keep it above. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. The women seem to be more sharp and more focused on what's being said than you guys are. because you're too busy thinking about what you're going to say, and the women are being very, very conditioned on what the hell they're hearing. So they're getting their feelings based on what they hear, but at least they fucking hear you. You guys don't hear shit because you're too busy thinking about what you want to speak about. I remember when the roles were reversed, when it's like, heck, I didn't even say that, but you're so fucking worried about what I'm about to say, and you're not even listening to what I said because you're too busy thinking about what the hell you're going to say next. Now the roles are reversed. Men only think about what they're going to talk about. They don't actually listen to what the fuck is actually being said in real time. And let's welcome the first woman that's actually in the building. That one of the top mods herself, KM, is in the building. Crazy Mama in the building. So you said content creators choose to make the content always. Viewers choose how to consume the content. I want to go. I agree for the most part. When I say I agree, I'm giving it a 51-49. So you said how the viewer perceives it is the impact, and that's the part that's really, really, really important. The viewer decides how to consume the content. I 51% agree with that. The second part of that is the most important part. The viewer perceives the impact, which means that, and I can't remember where I heard it recently from. We've heard it for years and years and years and years and years. I don't even remember if it even came from like Beans or whoever else. But the idea that there are people who are always new to platforms, new to spaces, new to channels, who are genuinely trying to seek out information. And instead of having people who have various multitudes of nuance and perspectives, they are met with a plethora of narratives and talking points. And instead of getting impactful information that they can make a decision on, whether it's for themselves or whether it's for family members or whatever, they don't get that thing. Instead, they get a spew, a regurgitation, a comment vomiting all the time, a comment vomiting of talking points and narratives, and they never get better. Instead of actually saying, I was here because I'm thinking about focusing on my relationship, but maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe she's doing something wrong, or he's doing something wrong, or they're doing something wrong, or my brother's doing something wrong, or my sister's doing wrong, my sister-in-law is doing something, whatever the fucking case may be. It doesn't turn out to be that way. It turns out to be, that's an interesting perspective. Damn. It is all women's fault. Huh. And I can't even say, unless they're a woman who only goes into T spaces, majority women spaces, who can say, you know what? You're right. Fuck these men. But try finding a space where there's a healthy middle ground, because a lot of content creators say that they want a middle ground. And when they go to spaces like that, whether it's a guy who has a whole bunch of women on the spaces, or whether there's a woman who lets to invite a bunch of guys in spaces, the one thing you really don't get is a middle ground. What you get is a bunch of talking points that happen on a day in, day out basis for content, for views, for a paycheck, and overall, because most of those people who are there are generally for the Black community, it turns out to be a funeral. It's a fucking funeral. It's a funeral to the collaboration between men and women, especially within the Black space. Because here's the truth of the matter, and this is why I say it. If I look at other content, if I look at other ethnicities when they do the content, they don't do nearly, and I mean this, they don't do nearly as much DMP content than Black people do. Not nearly. They don't do as much fucking and sucking and talking about who lays out what and talking shit and talking about masculinity and femininity and who's from the garden and who's not from the garden, who's left behind, who's from the motherland, what we should be doing and everything else. And I'm going, so the people who even you say it might be your oppressors, right, are still making better headway, even though they're not necessarily getting there. They're not necessarily repopulating their people. Even so, they're still making more headway in the conversation than you guys are. Now, they may not be able to get their women to do the thing that they want to be done, which is why, and I don't blame them. I'm sorry. I don't I don't blame you ladies for wanting to be so curious about the BBC. I mean, let's just be honest. If we had to look at it as a news agency, Sky News should talk about the sky. You know, Fox News should talk about foxes. And the BBC, what do you think they talk about? I know, ladies. I know. And that's why you tune into the BBC. We get it. We get it. And then when you're not getting enough of what you want in the BBC content, then you turn to blacked content. So I get it. I absolutely get it. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, we understand where the media has shifted, where it's fallen. For how long can you listen to like Rachel Maddow? How long can you listen to Rachel? Like, come on. Eventually, you're like, come on. She's not really for the majority of women, so you're gonna have to make a choice. You know what I mean? And I get it. I get it. It's all good. It's no disrespect to liberals or whatever. I'm just talking about to the human needs of people. So it is what it is. I don't blame you. You want what you want. And you deserve to go after what you want because this is the only life that you have. Now, going back into it, I agree with Sel in that viewers decide on the perspective of what they perceive has the most impact. But I think it partly has manifested. Part of it could be they came in with initial curiosity about something that was going on in their mind. And then eventually it turned into with the narrative of what it was about, which is to blame the other sex, whether you're male or female, it's about blaming the other person. And that became a slow circle of the drain. And a lot of people have been in that drain ever since. Whether you want to look at the black pill, incel, manosphere, red pill, relationship sphere, or as I call the DMP space, and I think you call the EBT space, they're all the same shit. It's black people not being able to get along with one another. That's what it is at the end of the day. It's the opposite of black love. It is the opposite of black unity. It is the opposite of black magic. It's the opposite of all of that at the end of the day. So as much as people talk about it, we have less and less reason to ever believe that it's alive. Now, there are definitely spaces and sectors and very small communities of people who are actually able to get that together. And here's the funny part. When I say small, I don't really mean small. I really mean that there are more people out there who do promote black unity and black love and black relationships. Unfortunately, the minority has a stranglehold on the majority of the people within those communities that are actually doing the things that they need to do. And because of that, I just say, man, you got to ring the bell on them because these people who are actually the majority don't do enough work to drown out the minority. It is what it is. It is what it is. For some reason, just like the education system that is here, math has failed the majority of the country. The overwhelming majority has not come to believe that they're the ones that actually rule. They believe that those who are less of them deserve more than what they do simply because they are less. They forgot how stats work. They forgot how measurements work. They figure out how physics work. And I get it. There are some people, especially the guys, right, who are sitting there. Well, he said physics, so he obviously must mean force. I know some of you guys who love to be in that manosphere, Christian nationalist, fucking force doctrine bullshit, right? Because what good are you really as a man unless you are able to, put your paws on a woman? How good are you really of a man unless you are able to put your hands on a woman? You're not really in charge until you can backslap them, right? I know that's how many of you guys think. That's why you bring up the whole, especially you white guys. You bring up so forced doctrine so much. The only way you can possibly get women in their place so that you could be able to rule is that you gotta put hands on them. The guys who have been able to build everything, create everything, to build everything for man, woman, and child, to build the things that will be great for society, for its fellow man. I thought even Jane Brown said, man, build the planes, build the trains, did everything for the heavy road. Man build a boat for the water, like no one built the ark. This is the man's world. But what's funny, it says, but it don't mean nothing because we are very comfortable without what? A woman or a girl. Don't get me started with that because the moment I just finished that, so I thought about the conversation that was happening. I'm not trying to dive into that. Like that's crazy for me. So there are so many guys, especially the Caucasian guys. So you guys fall into this the most because you like to follow, like your Christian ethics daddies, Andrew Wilson. No disrespect to him, but I've seen too many of you guys. No disrespect to him. He's doing whatever he's gonna do when whatever he builds up for himself is whatever he builds himself. It's you guys who I see that bend your knee and worship at the altar of Wilson, which is amazing to me. It really is amazing to me because there have always been great people, great men, great inventors, great stewards of their times, black, white, Hispanic, Indian. But in this day and age, we have very few creative thinkers because there are more people who are willing to worship than there are people who are willing to serve. Let me say that one more time for you in case you didn't hear me in the background. There are more people to this day who are likely to want to worship than those who are actually wanting to serve. Serving your family, serving your community, serving your friends should be a higher priority on your list than giving all your praise and everything that you do and everything that you say and mimicking and parroting and everything that you could be and everything that you should be and everything you will be to basically a stranger. We say this all the time, and it's been already printed out by even some of our best military leaders, right? Average people talk about people. Smart people talk about ideals. The same way how even in the military they say the average people talk about weapons. The smart people talk about logistics. It is important to know where something is and where something is going rather than worrying about how much of something that you actually have that's there. Look at American history. We might come in with a whole bunch of stuff, but we have a very bad habit of leaving a lot of shit behind. Logistics. And then we wonder why these people are using things that are, quite frankly, having our names attached to it. When they want to go out and attack us, we leave them all the ammunition to be able to do so, right? Something to think about. It's just something to think about. So there are so many men nowadays than ever before that are more likely to worship than there are to actually serve the greater foundation of their community. And the sad part we realize is that it's not your alphas that are out there leading you. It's just men that are doing better than you. And because you just don't see yourself as being qualified enough to be able to catch up to them, you put them on a pedestal. And this is how the internet has become so prolific with so many, I was going to say Charlemagne's, but I meant to say charlatans. Same difference. Same difference. So what do you do about it? What do you do to change that? What do you do to make that better? Most of you don't do anything. Most of you sit back and get offended or even want to say that you're just different from them. But how exactly are you different from them? If when put into a corner, a verbal, a debate, an intellectual fucking challenge, the first thing you do is that you cry to their names, hoping that they're gonna get you out of trouble. You cry to Daddy Wilson. You cry to your Myron Games. You cry to Arolo Tomasi. You cry to these people. You you even look for Brian of the Whatever podcast. And if you look at a lot of these guys' history, you would be like, I should question it. But you know what? That's who they were. That's not who they are today. But if I question you, you're not looking that good in your yesteryears than you are today. And we have a saying on this channel: used to be's don't make no honey. So what are you doing? What exactly is it the thing that you're doing? You know, even after getting into this whole big thing, it kind of makes me think about the whole conversation that was taking place in so many different areas of the spaces that I was looking at even earlier this morning. When I tell you, like, even though I was watching Cellulite Podcast and I was watching your streams, I was heavily bored with the conversation because it's a conversation that I heard so often and so much. And I knew that it wouldn't come down to any agreement, to the point where when I was watching it, I was sitting there going, so they just moved on literally after a question was being posed, and the question never got answered because people literally asked the question and then turned around and interrupted the person that they wanted to ask the question to, and then turned around and added new shit that was additional outside of the original question that they asked. And then that person now had to answer that question. And therefore, the original question, the foundation point that they thought was going to be the aha moment, never got answered. And here's the sad part about that. So that happened on your channel. That happened on your channel. When I literally heard some idiot, and I'm going to say idiot respectfully, but idiot, turned around and said, assume that everything you're about to say, I already know. You already put yourself in the losing position when you did that. Already did. And then you kept interrupting the very person that you wanted to answer. You wanted to get questions, answers for your questions for. So therefore, they could never answer the exact question because you always came up with something new for them to answer. So the things that you could have actually given them rope to hang themselves on, you never actually got the rope to actually do so because you were too busy creating additional nooses. I had to watch that shit twice, by the way, Will. I watched that shit twice. Because people are more interested in getting a W than actually getting understanding. And if you got the understanding, it would have gotten you a bigger grasp, a bigger foothold in the conversation than you trying to get a person stumped. You want them in a corner so that they can't answer. But the truth of the matter is that anyone who's delusional, anyone who believes that they're right will always give you an answer, even if the answer is fucking far fetched. Why is it we haven't learned this already? Right? Why haven't we learned this already? It doesn't matter how crazy the question is. It doesn't matter how illogical the question is. A person will come up with an answer. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It just needs to be something that. And if you agree with it or not, it doesn't even really matter. It doesn't really matter if they gave you an answer. You don't have to like it. But if you really want a question that keeps them within the forefront of the conversation, you have to have them answer. You can't keep interrupting them. And I see so many people, and especially within these spaces, do exactly just that. They fuck up their own position because they can't shut the fuck up long enough in their own questions to get the answers that they desire. You are so much ADHD that you can't get the answer to the very thing that you asked them to answer. Keeping it a buck. I've seen it too many times. I saw it on the panels that you were reviewing for the other. I think you said DJ Music. Is that who you were talking about? Like whoever these people. Like I don't know these people. Whoever these people are. Like I saw it happening there. I saw it happen on your panel. And this here is the degeneracy. This here is the controversy. This here's the affliction. This here is the what I call being a crackhead of panel content. You know, people say things like, if you live long enough, the hero will be looked at as the villain, right? It's the same thing in these conversations. You talk long enough rather than actually trying to get the information that you need, and you will find yourself looking like the fucking idiot. I'm just keeping it in the buck. And I get it. It's harder, especially when even for like someone myself. When I'm so bored, and that happens a lot, I'm so bored that I drink so much that I become inebriated, and sometimes I just don't want to listen to you guys anymore. And that I love what's going on. For majority of the time, well, it's bullshit. It is, and that becomes very hard because you hear more of the same rather than things that could be different. This is why I kind of enjoy even though I did say from the very beginning, ladies don't make it about. Still gone. Say, I don't know what you saying something happened to my sound. My sound's still the same. I haven't touched it. I literally haven't touched it. That you can still hear, but barely. I didn't do anything to my stream. Literally I have so much going on in my stream. I haven't touched anything. I haven't touched anything. I haven't even touched any knobs on my stream deck or anything. So I'm not sure what you mean. I will move this. We'll try moving some things around on the plugs. Tell me if you hear anything different. Anything different now? Anything better now? Not better now? I don't know. You said there. I don't know what you're talking about. Like maybe I just got a very sensitive mic. That you can hear me now. I mean, you know what it is, Cam? It's because you haven't caressed my mic the way that it needs to be caressed. So it's acting up. It's very jealous. It doesn't like my manly touch. So you have to be the one to come over here and touch the mic. You know what I mean? Apparently That's my story. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it. So apparently, you had a problem hearing me, so apparently you gotta come touch the mic. You ain't gotta grab my mic, but you gotta touch the mic so it can feel better about its position. You know, you can hear it now. Cool, 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 cool. Long as we can all hear each other now. I'm not touched. I'm not touched. I'm good. I'm good. Maybe the mic, maybe the mic is getting gay. I don't know. We've had a lot of sus people of late in the content. We've had a lot of weird people that just come up and they want to be on the whole. Let's talk about gay people and let's get all into gay people and let's talk about gay people and everything. I feel the last person we had was Rain. Rain was the last person. Let's be honest. Rain is a troll account for a person who's already in here. Let's just keep it a buck. We're not here to be, we're not going to act stupid. We're not going to act like that person was not a troll account for someone that's already regularly in here. Because normally when we get trolls, what they want to do in order to try to make themselves seem like they're nuanced, they bring up the LGBTQRSTUPWXY and Z community. It's nothing new. They do it all the goddamn time. In fact, the only person who comes in, and it's been a very long time, who comes in, who is exactly a part of that community, who doesn't try to do it out of the sake of just wanting attention. Actually, I just lied. But that is Mel. And it's been a while. Outside of that, it's the people with troll accounts that come in and try that. They're not officially a part of the community, they just want to pretend like they are the community. Or they're on the download. It could be that as well. What do we say though? What do we say, people? We listen. We listen. We do not judge.
All right, let's just admit it. That didn't happen.
That's what we do. We listen. We don't judge. We let people rock where they are. KDK, what's going on? I see you in the building. How you been, KDK? Now, not that I'm expecting anything because I didn't do anything. I didn't prep for anything for this night because technically I'm not supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be chilling. I was supposed to be doing my own thing, but I don't feel like writing. So that means I got to figure out something for tomorrow. It is what it is, though. But if you guys got anything in your mind that you might want to talk about, might want to bring up, might want to congregate about, that hopefully it doesn't have anything to do with. Please, I mean, God forbid, I hate DMP talk, and I damn for sure don't want to get into religion. Oh my God, religion is the worst thing in the world. And I literally mean it. It's the worst thing in the world. I said what I said. I would rather watch flies fuck than talk about religion. I said what I said. Whew. So I'm going to take a short break to go take a quick whiz. And I'm going to have you guys decide what exactly you want to talk about. Because quite frankly, this is a bit of an open night because I have nothing that I want to talk about, and also nothing that I think that we need to try to force. Funny enough, because we've been talking about forced doctrines, right? Craziness for all the religious people. Here's what we're gonna do. I know it's pretty quick, and it's been very, very silent on the kick side. So I'm gonna drop the link right here. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna take a short run so I can go piss off the barge, as some people like to say. And those who might be interested in the conversation, this is actually gonna be one of those weird nights that if you got something that's gonna be interesting, please do yourself a favor, let it be interesting. Because the moment it's boring, I'm gonna let you know I'm not even gonna be the one to entertain it. I would rather get drunk than have you sit up here and bring up something boring to me, and I'm gonna wind up being fucking sober. So think very well about what the fuck shit that you're going to about to bring up to not just me, but also to this audience. Something to consider. If you have nothing to talk about, do yourself a favor. Don't show up. And it means that we can just end the stream really early. Is that fair? Is that fair? I think that's fair. I think that's fair, to be honest with you. If you're not good with that, that's cool. But that means you need to have something to actually talk about. Because if not, keep that shit to your fucking self. We're really not interested. With that being said, let me back off so I can turn around and do what's right for us.
Lately we've been talking less at night. Two hearts drifting just outside the light. I can feel the distance in your eyes, like you're already saying goodbye. And I don't know where we lost the thread. Something's still hanging left unsaid. But every time I think of letting go, something in me says don't let this close. Maybe we're bent, maybe we're bruised, maybe we're scared of what we're gonna lose. Maybe there's still something worth saving. If you're still here, then I'm still waiting. I don't want to hide inside my chest. Even when you're gone, I feel what's left. I'm finally finding something real, something I don't have to kill. I'll be the fire, I'll be the flame. I'll keep you warm inside the rain. If love is danger, let it stay. I'll burn for you anyway. I remember how you used to smile, how we make a little feel worthwhile. Now we're standing on opposite sides, acting like we're too strong to try. And I know love ain't always easy, grace. Sometimes it looks like staying in place, choosing one more day instead of leaving, choosing us when neither one's believing. Maybe we're tired, maybe we've changed, maybe we're both carrying too much weight. But if there's a road back to each other, I don't wanna spend my life wondering. Stay for the hard days, stay for the doubt, stay when the words don't wanna come out. Stay when we're stubborn, stay when we're wrong. Nothing worth keeping was easy for long. I don't need perfect, I don't need forever tonight. I just need you not to walk away without one more fight. I don't want to hide inside my chest. Even when you're gone, I still won't test. I'm finally finding more than something real. I'll be the fire and make the deal.
You're making it so good for me. It seemed like it is gonna be a quick and easy Monday night for me. Oh my gosh, thank you, because I really didn't have much going on. I really didn't have much going on, to be honest with you, and I don't really feel like putting myself in anyone else's controversy because how do I want to say this? I really don't care. Like honestly, like I don't like. I know. A lot of you mofos are fucking so nosy, and it's just not me. I'm not nosy. I'm rather cool. I'm rather collected. I know I didn't. We're not doing a whole bunch of different stuff, and I damn sure didn't set the stream up to be something crazy. And because I also don't like to have a particular schedule right now, I don't expect a lot of people being up here, and I kind of like that. I kind of like it because that means the people who are really there to come through to rock, whatever. I'm cool. I know people like to chase this whole idea of popularity and fame. I don't want to talk about that just yet. I think that should be something for a particular topic in the future. But either way, this is the I hit my mic. Either way, this is the stream that we have today. It is 10:30, which means that we got a little bit of time. We have a little bit of time. We have been online. We have still been online. And keep in mind, folks, it's been less than an hour. Honestly, I'm feeling a little bit, just a little bit impotent because I am so used to, the long stroking the shit out of you. Nah, no, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I still gave you about an hour of my good long stroking, but it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like that good old wrestler pizzazz. I don't feel like you're exhausted just yet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I don't feel like you're sweating enough. I don't feel like I've gripped the shoulders and I've given you the entire full. I don't feel like it's like Arby's. I haven't given you the meats. You know what I mean? So like now, this is one of those nights, ladies, especially ladies. I need you to make up the difference. Because tonight, your boy is not in his proper mindset because he's not even supposed to be live today. He's not supposed to be live today. You say you need an adult? Maybe. I saw a little animated skit today, right? So I was watching massage content, right? And I was watching a whole bunch of massage content where the massages were looking fucking phenomenal, by the way. Oh my God. Oh, they were so fucking good massages that were taking place. Well, they really were. But then this little clip came out of nowhere that said, "Oh, this motherfucker like to look at massage content." And there's a little anime clip that said, "You know what? I want to see. I've always got this good happy ending. I want to see what a sad ending looks like." She looked at him, and he signed the little name on the dot on the contract, and she was like, spotlight went on her. Next thing, she was walking out with crutches on both legs, all fucked up on the legs, could barely walk. She walked over to a little seating area with a tarp on it, and she pulled the tarp from it. And the tarp had a little kid that was sitting in a wheelchair with a dog that looked old and sickly. And then the masseuse pulled out. She pulled out. I got you, my guy. She pulled out a syringe. And she looked at him and she looked at the dog. And the dog looked very still want life left. And then she injected the dog. And the dog passed away. And then with her little braces on both her legs, she walked over as there was an old man who was playing violin. And she looked at him and said, she just nodded. And the guy passed away right in front of her. And the guy who did the whole signing, the guy who was waiting for the massage, right? He was sitting there banging, like, oh my God, like this is just so bad. And the masseuse with the crutches on her hobbled her way all the way to him. She put her hand underneath the sheets and she worked him. That was the sad ending that he asked for. What's good, Cellulite? What's going on?
Sir, I feel unsafe and I need an adult. I don't believe anything that you just said about that story.
You wait till I find it. It was on Instagram. You wait till I find it. I'm gonna share it with everybody.
Oh my God. That was a very descriptive story. Unfortunately, I am a very imaginative person, and I just pictured everything that you just described. And I came back at the wrong time. The first thing I heard you say when I came back is that I'm not giving y'all enough long stroking. I did not come to be long stroked, sir. Okay.
Sir,
Mhm.
everyone who
Mhm.
attends the streams
Yeah.
always gets long stroked.
Yeah. Well, see, I like things nice and slow. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I like things nice and slow, and I don't like long. I'm more of like a rabbit fucker. It's more like rapid. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, I long stroke. I get booty tickles. We
You
got a
get
whole
booty
song.
tickles.
Oh, we got a whole song. You ain't know we got a
Ah,
whole song. My mind is telling me no. I can already hear. I can already hear. Cam is singing. But you're a thotty, telling me yes. Yeah, we got a whole song. Then I don't see nothing wrong with a little booty tickle. We got a whole
sir.
song.
You need to do an OnlyFans show. That's what you need to do.
Oh wait, hey KM, let Will know he don't know. We already
You
got
got an
we got
OnlyFans?
the OnlyFans setting up.
Ah, come on, bro.
Sir, you know what? And we're doing. Wait, listen. When we start doing our rounds, we're in the quote panel verse. We have
Yeah.
something already set up called Sunday Suds Day.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I'm gonna be coming, but all right. I'm gonna support you. I
Hey,
can't say
hey,
that I'm
hey,
gonna
hey,
subscribe.
hey, here's what I'm gonna say. Your support is all that's needed.
Absolutely. I'll share it out. I'll share it out on my website. I won't say that I'll be subscribing. I don't know if that's honorable thing for me to pay for another man to be naked. But hey, it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do, Rico. And you're muted. Thank God.
We do no, we do it for the art. That's what the whole point is. We do it for the art.
Oh,
We
okay.
for the love of the craft.
Okay. You know what? Listen, what you should, you know what? It sounds like you already have a plan. What did I say earlier? It's the content creator's responsibility to produce the content, and it's the viewers, how the viewers perceive it. That's, you know what? I'm happy for you.
I agree. Sometimes we gotta produce a pearl necklace.
Is it going to be a runny pearl necklace though?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you remember that picture of that female cop that was and it had all the black cops standing behind her? That should be your first show.
Oh, you talking about all the ones that got like pretty much fired? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they got fired because they was running a situationship entanglement.
So here's the issue with that, right?
Yeah.
If I do it, it's gonna
Mhm.
take me a couple of months to a year to do it because the moment I try to do that,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna immediately think that I'm trying to do another Vegas 2.0.
But it's gonna be a stream. It's gonna be a stream yard though.
Yeah, it won't matter. That was a streaming event too, and
Mhm.
it was basically 5 ninjas and one white woman.
Problem was it was not on OnlyFans, it was on YouTube.
It wasn't, but they're gonna attribute it to he's trying to basically do a mock-up of Vegas. So I need to put out some other material first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But the beautiful thing about behind the paywall content, especially off of a website, if anyone was to ever produce that, they would be in serious, serious trouble. So you're safe. You're safe. Rumble has less restrictions than YouTube, and OnlyFans has less restrictions than Rumble.
Listen. I already said KM is gonna be on my team for sure. We
Mhm.
gotta make a whole list of people that need to be a part of that. Like we need a whole marketing team. We need solicitors. We need people
Yeah.
to make sure they don't get me the dirty bitches. Like we gotta make sure like you got like people gotta vet. They gotta make sure that they get all their tests done. Like
Yeah.
and then we gonna set it up. It'll be a what? No, I'm gonna set myself up like I'm gonna be like the quote panel versus
Yeah.
example of the Lily Phillips. You know what I mean? Like that.
Absolutely.
That's my role. You know what I mean?
I think
So like
a great introduction. Do you know who Sterling Cooper is?
I do. I
Yeah.
absolutely do.
I've been on panels with Sterling Cooper. Actually, you remember my man's
So
Drex?
I had a conversation with Sterling Cooper on
Mhm.
X.
Mm-hmm. He's always on X, and I love him. I love the content that he
Okay.
produces. But the type of content that you're talking about, the Sudsy Sundays or the Sunday Suds Day.
Sunday.
There you go. That'd be a great thing to curate. I don't know why I'm having this conversation. I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. Listen, after the last 2-3 weeks on this YouTube, I'm just glad to be able to have a conversation that has absolutely nothing to do with all of the stupid shit.
I can imagine that. I can
Yeah,
imagine it. 'Cause me looking into it was like, oh my, I can't believe we're still doing this shit. And I started slowly getting dragged into it, watching your
yeah.
content. I was like, fuck me, we're still doing this bullshit.
Yeah, and it's intoxicating. I'll be honest with you. Just like with the Panaverse, I'm still heavily invested into a lot of things that go on in the Panaverse. It's just that I wish the minutia would be able to escape the Panaverse and a lot of these other conversations. That way, you can have an actual general conversation without
The
the minutia.
first thing that caught me off guard when I was watching your streams
Mhm.
was I was like, this is the same. Like I was calling shit out. Here's the
Yeah,
funny part. I didn't post anything
yeah,
because I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it, but I was recording myself as I was doing it.
yeah.
I don't remember. I don't even know if I still have it. Like it's probably in one of my drives. But
Mhm.
like every time I go on live and I look at it, I do record myself, but I don't really post things. I'm just don't really look at myself as a reactionary content creator.
Well, especially if you're getting ready for OnlyFans, you got to record yourself.
That
I gotta get the angles and the lighting. You know what I mean? Got to make sure the camera's good, the sound, all of that. It's very important. But yeah,
hey
I
yo,
get
no chaser. Looking for a cameraman. You know I got extra
it.
cameras. I got boom lights. I got everything. I need no chaser, and I got zoomer. Zoomer. I need that. I need
My
no.
man
You
said a
listen.
boom mic.
Don't. You can't. You can't be fearful of my ball swinging. Just don't. Just like make sure you get under like the lens, so it's good. Don't worry about it.
See, the problem with that is though, it's the sweat that comes off the balls, right? Yeah, like
Here's the thing:
mhm.
is it always sweat, or is it just the biscuit innards that's dripping off?
I mean, it could be that, but here's the problem: there's pores on balls, right?
That's
And balls
true.
do sweat. So if you're gonna be the man that's gonna be holding the camera, hey, listen, I hope you got an umbrella, brother. If not, you're gonna be getting a shower.
Honestly, we were not gonna have umbrellas because cameras don't come with shoe mounts that for
Yeah,
umbrellas. So that means you gotta wear goggles only. That means if it hits your cheeks, it hits your cheeks. You know what I mean?
yeah, and hopefully he doesn't smile because then he's gonna be brushing, he's gonna be flossing with a whole different degree of material.
Honestly, I might have to put it like, hey, Cam, write it down. It might have to be a doc in your contract if you smile.
But wait, who's
It might
gonna
have to
be
be a
the
doc in your
lead?
con. No smiling because we don't want loose pube hairs to get in your teeth. We don't want
Oh
we don't want
man,
no saltiness to hit you in the mouth. Like we don't want to hear
yeah,
none of that.
yeah. You
This is
don't
part
want
of the insurance.
you don't want anyone with heavy breathing either. That's the last thing that you want is for like the unnecessary breathing to show up on the mic. But yeah, changing gears for a quick second. That whole thing, I guess you're talking about the last few streams that I did.
So
Yeah, the sweaty balls.
I saw the first one was the predators studying predators, and
Yeah,
then when I was going through half of that, I said, okay, there's a lot of content in here that I don't know, so I need to go to the previous one because you mentioned the previous one, which
yeah,
was the something groomers something content, and
yeah,
I looked into that one, and then after I went through more than half of that one, I was like, okay, I got you, and
yeah.
then I also noticed that I wanted to give the creator that we're referencing. I wanted to give him his does just due. So I did look at a little bit of half of his content, even though more than half his content really didn't do about the situation. It
Hmm.
was more of just talking about projects and shit like
Yes,
that. And
yes.
don't get me wrong, I come from projects. I come from buildings as well as the projects. It just didn't really lean on me. So I'm not, no disrespect to him, but it's
No.
like it didn't really lean on safeguarding his position. So a lot of what I could attribute to what I could look at it in his position really had to do with the things that you covered on your platform because your platform was covering the overall panel topics that was going on and on those other streams.
Yeah, so the stream you're referring to is the intellectuals grooming and battle over age of consent.
I
Now
have
there was
no
a
idea what that is, but yes,
so
that
well, it's a comment in between each one. So intellectuals, that's one, and then grooming, that's two, and then the battle over age of consent. So the second stream that you was watching was how predators study other predators. I'm sorry, I got Monster
Oh,
Hunter playing in the dango background and the
yeah, I
fireworks
haven't touched
going
that in a
off
little
in there.
bit. I've been
But
on Crimson Desert.
oh man, please don't. It has taken over my life. I ain't gonna hold you up. But all of this really stemmed from because I'm not trying to, bring unnecessary gumption to this whole entire thing. It stemmed from a typical comment about the formulation of bodies for young women and how it is that, when it comes down to age of consent and laws and morality, all this that, and the other. And then there was a furthering comment to where a person said that, as long as woman is able to physically capable of taking on a man, and all this, that, and the other, right? So when all of this broke out, it was really over these two content creators, the two of which I tagged in that previous video, and then it was about the one content.
Give me a quick moment.
Yeah.
Sasquatch has walked in.
Mhm.
Sasquatch, like just catch on, Sasquatch. We're literally just starting the topic, so just catch on. Don't worry about jumping in real quick. We're literally just starting the topic.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the whole overarching thing of like just to like bring up to speed is every time this conversation comes about, the whole age of consent conversation, there's never a proper way. You cannot have this conversation in good faith, and there's no way to have this conversation where it can come to a conclusion because you don't know who's going to come up and you don't know what they're going to add. And when they do, it's going to take it to a lot of levels that a lot of people aren't comfortable having that conversation with.
Can I add something to that? I thought that was very important. I look at the conversation the way how we should look at bills that are being presented in like Congress, right? If you want things to change, like if you really want your state to have a different idea or standard of the age of consent, you cannot hold your entire basis strictly on the age of consent, because the moment you affect one thing, you're going to affect something else. So for instance, if you talk about, well, I don't want the age of consent for teenage men or women to be at 16, 17, then the question comes up, well, since we're talking about that, why don't we talk about cigarette smoking? Why don't we talk
There you
about
go. Yes.
why don't we talk about doing the draft? Why don't we talk about the age of drinking? Because
Yeah.
I remember even on your stream they were saying, like, somebody said something like, well, we should make the age of consent 21. And I was like, whoa, stop. Why 21 unless you're just talking about because of the age of drinking? Instead of just talking about why don't we raise the age to consent to 21, why don't we talk about taking the drinking age and lowering it? Because you can smoke, you can pull up a gun, you can go fight for fucking war, but you can't drink. So why don't we talk about lowering that down? And if you're gonna hold everybody to the age of being 18 to be able to be the people who can make these kinds of decisions, then how far are you going to hold yourself to it? Because you're going to turn around and say, well, technically, even though we're going to hold them as adults, by the way, teenagers can make adult decisions, which is why there are plenty of people who are pre-adult, as they say, or I love the way that Raw said it, barely legal, which is before and even after, pre and post, but they can be trialed as adults, right? So I'm with that. But if you're gonna turn around and then hold the whole, but they don't have their prefrontal cortex, frontal lobes developed, like, then we gotta stop this. Because I always look at this as well. If you're gonna hold the whole frontal lobe, the thing as a precursor, how do you think that every other religion that barely ever made it to their 30s, if you made it to your 40s, whatever, you was a privilege back then, and because we didn't have modern medicine. So how do you think they were able to make a lot of decisions?
So everything that you just introduced is the proper way to have the conversation. But the problem with the way, I'm not saying that anything that you said was wrong. To have this conversation, each one of those things that you just brought up is micro conversations that have to happen before you get to the crux of the conversation.
I agree, because I said if you're going to have one conversation, you have to replace it with something else. And when you realize you're going to replace it with something else, you're going to have to touch other conversations.
Yeah, it's too many things. That's why I said there's no way to have this conversation. Like, even when it comes down to introducing policy, you know how many hands that bill must go through before it can even be passed? And to draw the whole age of consent thing, age of consent in most places is 16. To get a license is what? Was that what 16, 17,
It's
18,
it's
something like that?
16. It's 16.
All right. Smoking and drinking is 21, but you can get into the club at 18. You can go into the army at 17, going on 18, as long as you have a high school diploma or GED.
Well, some can get in at 16 as long as they're emancipated.
Absolutely. So, are we going to put a limit on what it is that a person can do with their life, or what it is that they can consent to? Because you can't even sign most legal contracts unless you're of a certain age, which in most cases is above 18, or in some cases above 21. So
I
this is
agree.
why this conversation, it cannot happen all at once. You would need at least a few months worth of conversations for this to happen, right? And when this conversation is not happening in the proper way, especially when we go into, just like you said about specifically within the EBT community, it always comes down to DMP, which that conversation cannot happen. It can't. There's absolutely no way that
Agree.
conversation can happen. And I don't think that conversation even be broached or even thought about, because then you have all of these, one specific group of people who's on the internet. They always spout about, in this specific state that they live in, that family members can have consensual relations. And
Yes.
I'm talking about mother, daughter, son,
So
mother. Yeah.
part of the problem that I have with this conversation, and it's a very difficult conversation to have, is that the only way you're actually going to be able to get, not even to say that you're going to get to the resolution, but the only way to even get to that point, to even put some real headway into it, is you gonna have to take your emotions out of it.
Absolutely. You have to. But if we're being honest, right, and this is I believe something we was trying to get to when this originally kicked off, a lot of people who already have been through some type of experiences in their life, they're going to bring their emotions into it. And as long as you've known me, I've always said, leave your emotions at the door before you enter this conversation. Now, don't get me wrong. I could be a hypocrite, because I have been an emotional person who've cussed people out, yelled, and all this, that, and the other. But as we get older and as we get better at communicating with each other, and we understand that emotions have to be left at the door, and we cannot broach this subject when we talk about carnal information or carnal knowledge. That's not something that needs to be talked about. Now, if you want to talk about age of consent for signing a contract, you want to talk about changing the age for smoking, drinking, driving a car, and all this, that, and getting into clubs. I mean, if anything, we need to make security at the clubs better to ensure that only 21 years and older gets in that club, right? But we all know that age-old adage that, I mean, heck, I can use it for myself. When I was coming out of high school, when I was in the 10th grade, I was seeing girls that was getting picked up by older men. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm just saying that it's true. Does that make it okay? No. So how do we deal with that? And I think this is where the conversation broke down, specifically.
I think there's something that's more into that. Like, as much as the conversation was about, and we're just gonna pick on it. I know a lot of people who are watching this right now don't really have the whole full context of the conversation.
I'm being careful how I introduce it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm really, like, even you saw my short, right? So I did my short, but I didn't want to point out anything. They would have to do their own research within your content to know what's going on. But a big part of the conversation that was happening on platforms were about the fact, let's just be honest, as much as the conversation was focused somewhat on the disparages between ages, and I'm not trying to say even the age rank, but between someone who is an adult and someone who is not yet legally as an 18 an adult,
right?
Keep in mind that the premise didn't really change when it was between someone who, with two people who were an adult, when they were, now I will say the age is someone who's like, say, 23, 24, and someone who's 30.
Yeah.
So is this really about a age of consent because it's dating or sexual? Or is this really a conversation between age gap dating, or is this really about a adult versus minor situation? I saw three things happening at once.
Yes.
And I saw people conflating.
Yes. And the conflation comes around all of the abused talking points that has been eschewed and has been misrepresented to reach a goal. And that's where the problem comes in at. The problem comes in at, okay, if we're going to say that 24 and 30 is okay, which is a 6-year difference. Are we going to say that 24 and 16 is okay? Are we going to say that 24 and 17 is okay? Are we going to say that 23 and 15 is okay? You see what I'm saying?
Well, here's the funny part about that.
Mhm.
When I came up, and like you and I were roughly the same age, right? I'm 44 now, so we're rough.
I'm 35. No, I'm 30. Damn, hold on, wait. I was born in 89. I'm 37.
Oh yeah. Oh damn, you're about. Never mind. You and my girl is the same age.
Yeah.
Or you're actually my girl's younger than you. She's about to be your age.
Mhm.
The dating rule was always, whether people follow it or not, the dating rule was always half your age plus 7 to fit within dating range.
Okay.
Whether people want to follow that or not was a different thing. But the dating rule for older people was always half your age plus 7 so that it doesn't look like as an ick. But for some reason, we find so many people that still find this thing ick. So for instance, the youngest woman I've ever dated was 11 years younger than I am. And we had a great relationship for almost 3 years. Now, keep in mind, people didn't jump on our throat for it. Not even her own mother. They didn't care.
Yeah.
But if I had mentioned that online,
that would have been different. And that's the problem. Because what you're engaging with online is you're online has this thing. I always have a problem pronouncing this word, anonymity. I think that's how you pronounce it.
You said it perfectly.
All right, cool. So online, just like I am right now, I'm behind the avatar. A lot of people who participate in these conversations, you never see their face. And at one point in time, we didn't have the ability to go live. So this all had to be pre-recorded videos where the conversations had to be curated. What's happening online right now is as long as there's a StreamYard link, anyone can join your panel. And you don't know if these people are actually being conducive to the conversation or if they're coming to be disruptive, right? So when you're talking about this whole age gap thing, a lot of people came up under a spectrum of differences. I was always taught 2 up, 2 down, no more than 4, right? But the problem is that I was always into older women. So when I was 21, she was 35 or she was 36. You see what I'm saying? So for me, that's just because that I always liked older women than who I was. But for a lot of people, they're like, oh, so when you were 17, what type of women was you dating? You don't want to know that age, and I don't feel comfortable saying that. You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's the funny part, because even when my mother was dealing around, when I was dating with different women, my mother was like, "Who are you dating?" And then I was 21 at the time, and the woman who I was dating at one time was 32.
Zoomer ain't shit. He said I'm 29 and my right hand is 29. Self-abuse is not.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But like I was 21 and she was 32, and like to my mother, she was like, as long as you don't date anyone her age, and I'm not going into that because it is what it is.
But the thing is, and I'm glad
definitely had older women.
I'm glad you brought up the online thing, because what's happening online is there's this thing called shock value. People are looking for instances to where they can create a moment so that they can then try to corner someone or put them in a box. So then that person can gain virality off of them. And that's where this conversation becomes unfair, because in more instances than one, just like the situation that pretty much this whole thing is, well, and when my engagement came from was, it was 24 and 16. Unfortunately, because of the legal of it, he wouldn't be known as a PDF. Morally, that's a different story, right?
Correct.
And that's what happens when this comes online, because you have people who are going to come up and say, oh my God, you're a this. Oh my God, you're a that. But then you hear the other side of the argument from the person who was actually involved in that situation. And they say, well, at the end of the day, it was legal. And then they justifying by saying it that this person who was younger than me is more mature than I am. Now you just opened up Pandora's box.
That I did not. I understood it, but I didn't like it. So here's my thing about that. Even if the person who you are dealing with, who you are dating, who you are seating, who you are coupling with, who you are doing is younger than you are,
absolutely,
it does not negate the fact that at the end of the day, you are the one who's looked at as the adult.
Yes.
It does not negate. Like you don't get a pass. Oh, they're smarter than me. you're still older. Not for nothing. If there
Mhm.
was an 18-year-old, just fresh 18 on her birthday, but she got with someone who was 30, 36, but he's slow. He
Mhm.
autism slow. Does you think they're gonna hold him less accountable?
Mm.
No.
Correct. But then
So
you
like
look at
you don't get those same privileges. You
right,
don't.
but then you look at, and this is where Hollywood comes into play. Then you look at justifications behind Leonardo DiCaprio, right? Leonardo DiCaprio would never be seen, he would never be seen with a woman that's above the age of 21, if that much. That's probably the max age. But the
Right.
problem is, how old is Leonardo DiCaprio? But then here comes the argument. But he got money, he has status, he has clout, he has this, that, and the other.
That's a problem for me.
Absolutely.
It's a problem for me / not a problem for me. Let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Because we run across so many people, especially when we come to spaces, whether we met these people or not, but we have so many manosphere to DNP to relationships to red pill talking points, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the majority of the women that you're looking for, even from an early point of high school, never mind early college, seek men who are older, why are you mad?
So this is where it gets uncomfortable, because now, although I don't agree, I can understand the other side of the argument is, why are we trying to demonize women? I mean, why are we trying to demonize the older men instead of holding the younger women accountable? And that's a
I love
problem.
that you said that. Love it that you said that. Because I think part of the issue that I was having, like my mind was teetering when I was hearing so many different parts of so many
Mhm.
different conversations that you were having within those different panels.
Yeah.
And part of the thing that hit me was like I was looking at it and something hit me in a way when it comes to beans. I'm hearing his point when his stream when he's talking about like the heartache, not even necessarily the heartache, but the struggles that young men go through and how they're overly charged for things, how they're immediately looked at as demons or
Mhm.
looked at in the back. And there is some aspect to that is absolutely true. You know what I mean?
Mhm. I
But
wouldn't deny that.
I think part of the issue that I saw within that argument that he gave is like basically is this because there are men who are treated so harshly, we should then equally judge the women harsh
There you go.
rather than we should find out a better way to judge young people in general and not have such a big disparity between the both of them. And I think that was something that was being missed. It was like, nope,
Mhm.
if men are being treated this way, women need to get treated that way. When saying, like, well, how about this? There are women being treated this way. We should give some more leniency to men. Not we should just elevate the women to the men.
Right.
We
So
should look at the kids as being kids.
right. And that's the crux of the argument, especially because we're only discussing the heads side of the quarter. We're not discussing the tails side of the quarter. The tail sides of the quarter is that there was older women who were targeting younger men, right? And when we talk about this 24
It was back and forth. There was some talk about older men, but it was mainly women. It was mainly, but there was some talk
no,
about
no,
older
no,
men.
no, no. What I'm saying is, in the midst of all of these arguments that's been happening over these last 8 years, right? And this is why, although this happened within the last 2 3 weeks,
Overwhelmingly men.
it's always
Yes,
overwhelmingly men.
yeah.
And when we talk about the other side of that conversation, a lot of people really don't want to talk about that. Just like I'm not gonna name the content creator, but when I introduced that argument to him, he said, yeah, but we're not talking about the women right now. I said, yeah, but you're not having a fair and balanced conversation by not including that, especially because we recently just had that teacher who was 20 years old who just got caught with all those high school boys. So are we saying that those young high school boys are more mature than her? You see what I'm saying? So if we're going to talk about demonizing men, we also have to say, okay, so let me get this right. So instead of holding the onus and responsibility and accountability on the adult in that situation, we want to put it off on the minor, on the teenager, on a younger person. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I want here's my thing. I don't even think it's saying putting the. Now I hear what you're saying. I've definitely seen it. I I don't think the way that we look at things in society, and we really should have a better way of looking at it, is that we're putting the more responsibility on the minor when it's a man, which is the problem.
There
I
you
think it's
go.
I think it's the opposite way. We do not see the male minor as someone who is less accountable. That's
That's
the problem.
because, yeah, that's because it's not broadcast, it's not projected enough. You see what I'm saying? And until
It's funny how men, and this is why I fall. This is why I'm falling on the point of what Bean says. How
Mhm,
young men are being held accountable for shit way more drastically. Like when it comes to young men, they're perpetrators. They're the ones who are responsible. But when it
mhm.
comes to she's just a girl, she didn't know any better. But they're the same. Especially when they try to say, well, women mature faster than boys. What the fuck?
Right. But now let me introduce this to you, right? Because I can understand that side of the argument formulated that way. But here's the other side of the argument. Regardless of it's of a young man or a young woman, when it comes to the older person who was involved in that incident or involved in that engagement,
They're responsible.
they are 100% responsible. And this is why I said the DMP side of this whole age of consent thing does not need to happen,
I
because
agree.
we can all include the 94 crime bill. We can include all these different policies that happen throughout historically throughout, especially with the United States of America, especially even when within religious groups, that it's always been a one-sided thing. But in 2026, we have to change the bar so that we can set a new standard. And the new standard is that you should not be messing with anyone under this age if you are this age, regardless of the gender disparities, regardless of the racial disparities, regardless of the cultural disparities. And until we can actually come to that point to say, at this point, no person who is above this age should be seeking out no person that is below this age. And it's
I
just
think
that.
I think that needs to be a state and government thing because it's so long. Here's the sad part.
Mhm.
So long as we have people who are willing to look at the statute of limitations,
There
these
you
are the
go.
people that we worry about.
Facts. But you know what
Because let's
sets
be
it?
honest, let's be honest.
Good.
As much as let's we know who we're talking about. We don't need to mention them. This is not about them, right?
Absolutely.
But there was a conversation about, well, if the age of the statute of limitation was 12, then you would go for 12 because they're able to consent, right?
Uh-huh. But wait, that conversation didn't just happen with those group of people. That conversation even came up in this
Sure.
incident.
Oh, okay, okay.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
that was
yeah.
the that was
It,
and this is why I
it
said you
did.
can't.
You're right. You're right. It did.
This is why I said you can't have this conversation, because if we're going to justify the or we're going to we're going to justify the position between a 24-year-old and a 16-year-old, then a person who says, okay, so as long as it's legal, we're good. Let's just say, for hypothetical sake, well, let's just say for experiment, for societal experiment and hypothetical sake, let's say we all agree to that. That as long as you're 16, you're able to give consent. Let's say some radical politician wakes up and says, we're changing it to 13. We're changing it to 12. We're changing it to 8. You see what I'm saying? This is where it becomes dirty. This is where it becomes non-human. This is where it becomes immoral. So to make sure we don't even approach that, we need to raise it rather than lower it and not have the conversation anymore. Because if you keep on bringing about, look at what we just went through in the past 4 years.
No,
We just went through.
I'm agreeing with you when it comes to that. But this is
Well,
also why
let me.
my general premise has been, then
Mhm,
instead of you as a collective just bitching about how you don't like it,
mhm.
because you have continuous politicians that come through within, at least within your state. I'm not
Yes.
saying you can change all states. Maybe you got to do a bigger movement. But within your
Yes.
state, if you have this fucking inclination,
Mhm.
fucking get it changed instead of sitting here being online and just bitching about it.
There you go. So now you're introducing my argument. But you know what my argument was introducing? My argument was introducing holding accountable the adults who specifically target and who specifically target underage people. You know what the other side of that argument was? You're demonizing men by trying to do that. What? You muted, G. You muted. You muted. You
Sorry.
muted.
Sorry. Thank you. There was a bigger question to that I asked, and it's a bigger question that's not just falling to this particular topic, but
Mhm.
it's like if the majority of people that we run across, especially because we do it in an online space on a regular basis, what's good?
Yeah.
What's good, Logical? I see you in the building, but how exactly do you hold online people accountable? Because I thought about even when you were going off, right?
Yeah.
You fuck with this person, da 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 da. But I also look at this way. It's not about just the content creators who host them, because this person still has a channel, and
Absolutely.
there are people just like them, and many other people who may have a particular point of view who have a channel. Let's
Mhm.
just be honest. We also have to look at the viewers who are also responsible.
Absolutely. Those are the ones that's the most responsible. And
But how do you hold them accountable if we talk about a community of accountability?
you can't. So here's the problem with the internet. The biggest problem with the internet is one, and I don't believe, well, this is a multifaceted soliloquy I'm about to use. So excuse me for a second.
Oh, give me more before you get into it.
Take your time.
Because we have and the winner is
Oh,
what's good, Raw?
excuse me.
What's good?
Hey, baby.
Hey,
What's going on?
nothing much.
Hey,
Hey,
we're gonna be on the first episodes of Sunday and Suds on the OnlyFans show.
Hey. Tamper that down. Hey, JM, write it down. We may have to do a special edition.
Oh,
But we're gonna do it in
shit.
person though. We're gonna do it in person. But
We gonna kick it off. Okay, I got you.
We're gonna kick it off now. So it's a long soliloquy, but I'll try to damper it down a little bit. We just went through a whole entire byproduct of an administration that was literally pushing the agenda that we can do what we want with your children and you can have no say so. Then we have the online part where you can't control where people go, you can't control what people do, you can't control what people say. So I'm not one who says that people's traffic nor their speech nor should their travel be compelled nor controlled. You can go where you want, you can say what you want, you can do what you want, you can be around who you want. To really hold anyone accountable online, it can't happen. It's impossible unless the platform itself, there's going to be a campaign of a multitude of people to come to a platform and say, hey, you need to do this about this person. But then now that's right, because now that's a witch hunt. So you don't want to be seen as targeting someone as a collective. The only way that this can be done is the person who are y'all talking about, they have to hold the mirror up themselves and say, you know what, maybe I need to change my rhetoric or my behavior online. But we know that's not going to happen because just like you said, views, subscriptions, cash apps, super chats, clout, reputation, all this, that, and the other. The only thing we can do is bring awareness to the topic by having a conversation. But it's like me and you just said, it's a very specific way. You have to have this conversation and then all of the micro conversations that need to follow along with it or be had subsectively.
Agreed. I absolutely agree. It's hard to hold that line. It's hard, not only it's hard to hold that line, but it's hard to get other people to stay on that line.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
We're in agreement there. That's been a lot of my content, and it's even I gotta say it's a challenge for me. it's a huge challenge for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that Raw was talking about in her follow-up show, where she was really just bringing to the light how, like, when you really put everything up under a microscope, people are going to do what they want to do, go where they want to go, and they're going to have the conversations that they want to have. Even in this particular situation, as everything fell out the bottom, you see that people will still migrate to the person, even who is under the microscope, in support of that person. So you then have to take a step back. This is why I said earlier in your chat about the responsibility of the content creator and the content that you produce. You can produce whatever content that you want. How the person perceives it, that's up to them. You don't get to control how they perceive it. Now, you're going to gain a following of people, or you're going to amass a conversation of, you're going to amass a group of people who are going to agree with you. But we all understand that in human behavior and psychology, people flip-flop. You can say wrong. You can say one wrong thing or do one wrong thing on the internet, and next thing you know, you lose all your support. But that was my long soliloquy. Sorry.
No, I get it. I agree. How about you, Raw? Give us a little bit of your take.
Baby, you on mute if you say anything.
Oh, what I was going to say is the only way to hold accountability is self-accountability. And when people get to acting a damn
Unfortunately, a
donkey.
lot of people don't understand that. It's easier to look at everybody else as esteem than self-esteem.
Yeah, but it's doesn't people. All right, so here's the thing: people really caught up in social media. They caught up in their groups. They caught up in their so-called friends. They're really just YouTube associates and shit like that. Like I've been saying for years, if you ain't break no bread with nobody, if you ain't been to a wedding, a funeral, a bar mitzvah, a birth, these are not your friends. So holding on to these illogical ties is parasocial. And if your strongest connection to thrill and exhilaration is a parasocial dynamic on social media, something the fuck is wrong with you.
That's a lot of people, and this is why I've said it even to my own audience, and saying that there are a lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not. I say it's not for me to point it out. I'm not saying I'm holding a confessional. Um, but there are plenty of people who they don't really have lives. So therefore they make social media everything, because they have more friends on social media than they do their real life. They have more people that like them for the personas that they put up on real life. In social media than they do in their real life. And I say there's something about that, especially if you've been watching me long enough, that you should be making some changes. Why is it that's taking place? And you can always reach out to me. I'm not saying I got all the answers. I'm definitely not a clinical psychologist. But if there are so many other people in real life who are having having those kind of conversations, having that kind of atmosphere, why can't you? Why are you spending all your time being online? I don't understand who knows all the people who know all the content creators every time they go live, all the different channels. But if you ask them about themselves, they really don't know shit. That bothers me.
That's a lot of people. This is they can't put their phones down.
It is.
Well, it's dangerous, right? So the reason it's dangerous is because I would go as far as say it's not that they can't, they just choose not to. Because this internet this internet position is so valuable to hold to them that they don't see no other way out, right? A
But
lot of people.
oh,
I'm sorry.
I like that you said that. I like you said that. Is it that they choose not to, or they don't know how to?
I would say is they can't. And the reason I say is they can't is because already within their own social life, they have come to the precipice or the max potential of what it is that they can possibly do in life. Hence why it is that this online presence is so valuable, and they can't get away from it. A lot of people, if they step away from some of these conversations for at least 24 hours, they would be lost.
That that is so much of a shame, because I think this is the part of the problem that I get with so many people who come across my content who are not used to it, right? And then so many people within the chat have to explain it to them, because it's not about circling the drain. If you came in for information, talk to me, talk to other people. But the ideal at the end of the day is not for me to tell you what you should be doing yourself. And so many people try to do that. I try to bring forth conversations that will make you think about your own decisions, because the only one who's going to save you is yourself. It ain't
Correct.
gonna be me. And his truth matter. Even if I had the position, if I had the capability of helping you and changing your life, I most likely wouldn't, because you wouldn't have as much gratification than you having the ability to be able to change the landscape of your own life. Somebody else doing it, you will never take as much gratitude from it. I'd
Correct.
rather you fix your own shit.
Absolutely. You're not. But see, this is all right. So this is going into the realm of what I said earlier about content creators and the responsibility of the content that they put out. You can't control what other people will perceive of your content, but there is some level of responsibility as a content creator that you have to say, all right, am I putting out garbage to where people are just going to support me just because of the garbage that I put out? Or am I actually going to put out informational content that actually serves substance and that people can actually refer back to, just in case, they're in a conversation or a life altering event, and they can say, hey, I heard this, over here or something that's like that. Problem is, within this social media space, there's not a whole lot of people who's looking for substance that is definitely readily available out there. They're just looking for that endorphin or that dopamine release.
You're being very nice about it. I literally was just thinking the same thing.
Mhm.
People don't know the difference between what is beneficial and what is garbage. More people want fast food more than something that's actually going to be healthy for them.
Absolutely.
It's easy to get cheap fast food. It's like you go on this fast food content, fast food fucking conversations, shit that you've been listening to for years and you never heard an actual resolution to. But when someone says, like, you know what? You don't need a resolution from somebody else. You don't need a resolution from a group. You don't have a resolution from someone who says that they have the alpha or the omega or the chief or whatever. Just look at yourself. Because a lot of people, when you turn off the internet, when you go rest your head at night, when you wake up in the morning, when you look at your kids, if you don't have kids or you have a job or whatever, this bullshit that happens online, you don't see it in the real world.
Facts.
So what
But
the fuck are you dragging into it?
Oh, so all right, so let's go full throttle, right? Baby, what's that thing that you're always talking about, popcorn relationships? Do you mind explaining that a little bit?
Oh, microwavable relationships.
There it is. Microwavable relationships. Same thing with content, right? A lot of people aren't looking for, I wouldn't even call it long form. They're not looking for true substance that will actually add to their life. They're just looking for something that will entertain them. They're looking for the channel that's going to be nigga back and forth. You a bitch, you a pussy, I do this to you, all this, that, and the other. They're not looking like this whole DMP gender war conversation that everybody keep on dragging on for forever and ever and ever. You know what the real solution to all that is? How about y'all get off the internet and actually go get into some of these relationships that y'all always swear is not out there?
I like that you say it. I hold it down to something that I call very, very simple, and it's not my term. I actually got it off of you remember Black Thoughts?
Yeah.
I got it from him. It's nigga babble.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, it is nigga babble, but it's even I'm gonna fuck y'all head up with this one. How about stop treating people like pocket flesh, whatever, fleshlights.
Fleshlights, yep.
And dildos, and treat people like actual, people. Because nobody gives a damn about people. They just care about sex.
Part of that, Raw, is that in order to treat people like people, you have to be around people that actually that help people understand that people are people. Instead, we see a lot of these conversations, a lot of these creators that say, like, people aren't people. They're objects to be used.
Absolutely. And
when I hear things like, what's the point in putting all your time into a woman if she's gonna do A, B, and C?
Yep. And what's typically the counter to that? Whenever that talking point or whenever that rhetoric gets spewed, what's typically the counter to that?
Man, you're supposed to just fuck these hoes.
Fuck these hoes asleep. Fuck these hoes asleep and leave them by the side of the road.
Yeah. Or even because this is a conversation I'm gonna eventually have with the person who is in support of this I would say group of people. But even in some of these sisterhood conversations, these BWE conversations, it always comes down to these men ain't shit, these women ain't shit.
I'm sorry, what's the E in the BW? You said BWE. What's the E?
Black women empowerment.
Oh, okay, I never heard that one. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing is until we can get away from the whole these niggas ain't shit, these bitches ain't shit, and we can actually have the conversation where a lot of these people who say that they want to be relationships can actually utilize some of the things that they hear on the internet to actually go out and get some of the relationships that they want. Y'all just sitting back and bitching, but everybody's fucking and no one's in a relationship. Got you. Go ahead, baby. You came on mute.
No. Oh. I'm about to say a little words on the ways in a minute, so I'm just setting my shit up.
Gotcha. But yeah, that's what the real problem is. And you know what? I said this a little while ago. The other biggest problem is unless you are of some collaboration or a very specific content creator or group of content creators, you're not going to be heard as often, right? You know what the difference between someone who actually produces substantial or substantive content, but they only got 7 viewers versus someone who's just producing garbage and they got 15,000 viewers. You know what the difference is?
Well, for one is authenticity.
Absolutely. And if you
A
got
lot of
15,
people don't respect being authentic.
absolutely, right? But if I be
I try
If
telling
they
salacious,
people
can't,
that. I try
because if
telling
they
people that
can't
all
be
the time.
you, they just gonna fucking hate. Oh, you can't be real because I can't do that shit.
I try telling people all that all the time. When I tell you, I got so many people that be watching me and they don't get it when I tell them that. When I have there are shit that I say that I'm the kind of person like I look at psychology books, sociology books. I would spend my money to buy the things that other people actually have to study for school. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
But because you're not licensed, they will turn around and say, we don't need to listen to you because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about because you're not a licensed professional. But I always look at that and go, well, if I was a licensed professional, you would still shit on me anyway. Fuck are you talking about?
Oh, you cussing.
Oh, wrestling cussing.
I'm
We adults here.
cussing.
I cuss. We adults. I cuss. I absolutely do. This is not 18 and below.
I need an adult.
Oh, this is above the age of consent. My bad.
But
I use all the words that you guys basically say you need to block. I say porn. I try to stay away from pedophile, even though I just said it. I try to stay but I use all those words because I'm like, these are adult terms, and if you go to many other content spaces, they will use these terms. So that means it's really relegated to the space that you're in.
Right.
Now you know there ain't no adults.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Let you be fresh and fit. Or any one of these other massive male content creators, or let you be Cynthia G or any one of these other massive
happy I'm not
creators.
them. Happy I am not them.
You know why? Because they have created an air about themselves where they cannot be authentic. They can only be a persona.
Agreed.
And when you can only be a persona on the internet, there's an obligation that you have to that character and not to yourself. And when the real you gets exposed, I always say that there's three people that you have to be, or there's three people inside one person: the representative, the real you, and then the chameleon. The representative is the one that shows up in a suit, in a tie, with a briefcase, or you got the high heels on with the dress skirt, and you got the cleavage out, you got your hair done, you're looking nice. Then you got the real you, the actual you, the person who we can all see that is behind the veil. But then you got the chameleon, a person who can walk in a room and just be cool with everybody because they're friends with everybody, but there's an enemy to no one, right? The problem with all three of these is, when we're talking about psychology, is you never know who you're actually dealing with. The biggest problem is when it comes down to persona with someone like a big content creator who has to engage and produce this type of frail content so that people can watch them. If they ever stop doing that, they're going to lose their virality. They're going to lose their value. They're going to lose their production. They're going to lose everything.
I like that you mentioned that with me because I've done so much studying, especially within not necessarily psychiatry, but more in sociology. Is that the first thing I do with a lot of people that I run across is I always try to establish. Most people don't know this. I don't try to bring it to them because you're diagnosing. For some reason people are really fucking scared of that D word. We always thought it was like it was being disingenuous, but apparently diagnosis is a big one as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always try to start.
Straight fucking mental.
I always try to start with a baseline with people and work from there. Hey, why do you think that? Why did you come to that? How did you get to that? Tell me how you're really thinking about this. I ask the very basic questions to establish a baseline, and then we get into the real thing. And so many people, as you say, they already have the they already have the talking points already shit built up in their mind. That I'm like, do you understand how much? Like how extra it is to have to break that shit down. That it's hard to get a baseline. By the way, this is the whole point of the internet as well. You can put it that way. It is hard to get a baseline with someone who already starts off as being fake. It is so fucking difficult. And a lot of people don't realize it. Oh no, you're talking to me. Like honestly, let's just say I'm talking to KDK. Oh, yeah, no, you're talking to me. Yeah, no, this is the real me. You want me to believe that if I looked you up on the internet, your name is KDK?
Preach.
Yeah, that's my name.
Like the answer is no. Like, come on. Same thing. Oh, Crazy Mama. You think when I look you up online, your name is actually your first name Crazy, last name Mama? Like you married to the Mama family? Like
Yeah, she is. That's her name. That's her real name. How dare you?
Like the fuck? Like it. So it's extra work that you have to do, and so many people are so interested in their own personas rather than what the actual context of the conversation is, because they're so interested in building a narrative and a talking point, which is the thing that I try to break down all the time, but it's still a pain in the motherfucking ass. And that's why I even made streams recently about how many people like to, everyone's a multitude. I've known YouTube since before YouTube ever got really together. Can we just say that? I've known you since before you two got together.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, so how many times have we all three of us experienced this? Instead of people understanding that we are a multitude of people, we have our highs, we have our lows, we have things that we're sure about, things that we're not too sure about. But people will take the things that we either like about us the most or hate about us the most and attribute that to our entire character.
Oh, Raw, you got this one. Go ahead, man.
But it's true.
And that's the major issue. And I say, like, if you are nuanced as an individual, why the fuck are you holding me to a standard that, by the way, I'm pretty sure that you have, Raw. I'm pretty sure that you have, Will, that you've never turned around and said, this is just me and me only. You've never told anyone that this is just me and me only. They've assigned that shit to you, and they're mad that the image that they built of you is not matching up.
Mm-hmm. So there's a reason behind that. The reason is because let's get
into it.
Once a person has locked onto you and assigned that label onto you, they're identifying you within their mind as you are an obstacle or you're an associate who's going to eventually be an obstacle. And they're going to try to use you as a ends to a means, right? Or means to an end. A lot of people, the reason that they do this is because they have a bad problem with actually building structurally sound bonds. This is resulting into, oh, we're cool today.
I agree.
But then tomorrow, man, it's fucking Russell, you
I wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly.
My thing is this. I don't owe nobody shit. If today I want to be pure and pristine and tomorrow I want to be a fucking degenerate, it is what it is, kid.
Thank God damn it. Thank you. Thank you. I love that. Because I'm like, when I tell people, like, I have people like, when I say, like, I don't review so many content creators because they will do videos and content and shorts and videos and lives and they shitting on me. And then my viewers, not to, I don't know about the show you good team. They're like, why not? Because I'm like, there's multiple reasons why I do it. Number one, you guys come from a drama space. It is not my responsibility to drag you into drama because that's not what I want. First and foremost. Can we just talk about that? The second part is these motherfuckers don't know me. They don't know shit about me and what the fuck I'm doing and what the fuck and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Why these fuckers sitting up here, and no disrespect to content creators who do this, because everybody's got to make their money and everybody got to pay bills. But like, oh, you guys should listen to me. That's why you should go buy my course, and that's why you should go donate to me. You should go to my Patreon. I don't have a problem with that. But then when they're like, oh, you know, there's no reason why you should be watching Wrestler. And when you're watching Wrestler, he's like, honestly, you donate whatever you feel like. I'm not chasing you for it. Now, there are people say, I'm going to go. They threaten, I'm going to be offline unless you pay, nigga. We seen it.
Go offline then.
Yeah, and that's why I say, go the fuck offline. I'm not going to hold you hostage. In fact, one of my rules, my rule 3 is like, if you're never satisfied with you being here, just leave. No one's holding you hostage. Nobody is.
Listen, my thing is, I'm an asshole and I got ADHD. So I get bored of shit real motherfucking quick.
You know who's one of the people that helped me understand that I could have been that I might have been ADHD. It's this woman right here, the woman who decided to, the woman who's actually a nurse. She's like, maybe you're ADHD. And I went to go take a look at it. They were like, you slightly are, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who are ADHD. There's a lot of people. But I understand other things that I didn't understand about myself that got explained, not because of strictly ADHD. So she's the one that actually helped out that. And thank you, by the way, Mama, for the $4.99. $4.99 said, I'm just Mama. Like,
Right, shut up.
like me or you're not, you know. And by the way, there's sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't. It is what it is.
A mess. And good job the other day on the ladies' night, Mama. But this is the thing, like
That's a fact.
ultimately, unless you are killing the game like Mr. Beast on YouTube, this ain't no fucking career. Because we all have seen YouTube could very quickly be like, no, fuck it. And then keep your goddamn money too. So like, what the fuck we talking about? Like, people really be tripping off this shit. I need people to go get a job. Anyway, y'all, I see y'all a little later. Thanks for having me, Wrestler. Bye.
Bye, baby. I'll be down in a minute.
As always, appreciate you.
Yeah, but yeah, man. This shit can be gone tomorrow. Like that day, I woke up and it was like, oh, by the way, just so you know, you lost monetization. I was like, bitch, what did I do?
Honestly, it wasn't until I saw that stream and you said, I said, nigga, you got demonetized? What the fuck happened? I didn't even know.
It was a myriad of about. I'm in a group, Twitter and Reddit and Telegram. It's the basic way I can explain it is YouTube made a decision that they don't want to pay people. That's the best way I can explain it, especially because the amount of growth that you've seen, how much growth I had in the last 8 months
on YouTube, period. On YouTube, period. So yeah, with the growth of new creators, they really don't want to give up their money.
Right. And then if you check the back chat, that month I got that. YouTube was like, yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and
hey, and by the way, for people who are doing well, more numbers, the numbers that I've heard when I've talked to them is like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like
here's the truth of the matter. Here's the truth of the matter. If I did that, I'd be grateful.
Absolutely. But if YouTube would have took that, I'd be at YouTube's door. Hey, yo, I need to holler at you. Like, hey, yo, hey, we need to have a motherfucking conversation around this bitch.
Honestly, if I was seeing that, I'd be now I wouldn't say I'd be a whore. I'd be a whore. I would do whatever you want. I would do Instagram lives. I would do YouTube. I would do TikTok. I would start OnlyFans tomorrow. I would start OnlyFans tomorrow. I would immediately, expeditiously put KM on the payroll if I was making that.
Big
immediately.
Facts. Big facts. But see, here's the thing, right? This is the amazing part about it. And a lot of people don't know this. YouTube does not pay the most. YouTube is like 4.
I like that you said that because a lot of people don't understand. I mean, people look at Twitch, but honestly, people don't look at Kick.
No. Kick is, if I'm not mistaken, it goes Facebook, which is number 1. Facebook will always be number 1.
Facebook is still number 1.
Absolutely.
YouTube is next to it, even though there's a 95.5 for Kick. You still got to build a lot of fucking followers to get it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But see, the thing is, once you get it, it's hard to get it and it's easy to lose it, just like any other thing else. But the biggest thing is just that you recognize that Facebook is a bigger platform than YouTube. Unfortunately, a lot of people just don't know that. Facebook has a better algorithm than YouTube.
You know how many people won't stream to fucking Facebook?
I stream to Facebook. Yeah, I stream. But
Facebook's also made it harder now because I used to stream to Facebook and they just made it harder.
Yeah, well, that's why you got to do pre-uploaded content, right? Like a lot of those people who come from the olden YouTube days, they transitioned over to Facebook. I hate that I just used that word. They switched over.
Meta.
Yeah, they switched over to Meta, and what they did was they used a lot of their pre-uploaded content on there, and they just make it buku amount of money. You see what I'm saying? So TikTok was a good source at one point, but TikTok was on some bull. So the thing is, if you're only relying on one stream of revenue for these salacious conversations, you're not utilizing your internet presence to its maximum potential. That's why a lot of people get jealous of other content creators when they
Agreed.
do see them making this. And then now, remember that point that you said, when people see you, they put a label on you. You're not mad at me. You're just mad that you're not in the position that I'm in.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
all the wrestler, you a whole ass nigga. I hear you. You're not mad at me. You're just mad because apparently it's something within me that you either don't like or you don't have. Right.
You don't got it.
So, and I learned this when I was working at the homeless shelter. I had to learn that a lot of guys who came into the homeless shelter, they weren't necessarily mad at me. I was just in their way. So when they would come in, oh man, what's the Mr. Will? I'm sick of your motherfucking ass, bro. What happened, bro? Did he cheat you on a rock, bro? Did he shorten up your bag? What happened, man? Did they put water in your liquor? What happened? What's really going on?
They stayed right where the fuck they at, and you still went on the bigger, better things.
Period. And a lot of those dudes, those people.
You hear what I tell? Even when I tell my viewers all the time. Instead of you worrying about all this other shit that you guys get so sucked into, this hating, I say all the time, everybody's a part of your network. So you don't listen to me. You really don't listen. Facts. Everybody's a part of your network.
Mm-hmm.
But you want so much hate in your life. You really think it's doing something for you because it's so entertaining. You know what's more entertaining? Seeing your bank account come up.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
That'd be that good shit right there.
And you don't get it. You would rather have the engagement and be poor. Never mind. I'm saying too much shit.
Anyway, man, let me get out of here, dog. I gotta go take care of some business, man. I appreciate you having me, man. Dog.
Appreciate you sharing some time, man.
Most def. Holla at you.
All right, man. Listen, Nate, honestly, if you were really listening, you might have got some free game. And you don't even know it. Because a lot of y'all be in your own fucking way. A lot of you be in your own way. I'm not here to tell you. I don't run no Patreon. I don't do that, but I be listening. I be understanding because I be doing shit myself, and a lot of y'all don't be getting it. But y'all want to sit there and talk about, so Resla, when you go and handle your situation with so and so, it's like, why bother? Do you not what I'm doing? Do you not know what I'm trying to do? Yeah, but I want you to see, I want to see you upset. For what? You want to see me upset? Don't you understand? I'm the winning horse. I'm the one you should be betting on. Why would you imagine this? You're in a horse race. You're betting on horses, and you would bet on the one that you know that you should be betting on the one that's going to be a for sure winner. You've been told it's going to be a for sure winner, and you're saying, you know what? I'm hoping that for sure winner breaks his fucking ankle. You're crippling yourself. You will put the money to bet on it and then say, I still wanted to break its ankle. Why? I'm going to ask this question once. Why do you hate yourself so much? Why do you hate yourself so fucking much? Why? Why don't you love and respect yourself? Why do you only want to see yourself on your knees sucking dirty derelict cock? Why don't you want to see the best for you? But what are you doing here? Why are you setting yourself up in such a way? I just don't get it. And by the way, it's not the fact that people came up here and they can explain to you, or rather they could, but rather they should explain to you how you can do better and how you can. But here's the funny part about it, because even after everything that was just said, say even by Raw and even by Will, who was a great power couple together, how many times I just said this simply? In order for you to even reach the status of what they're talking about, right? Now, I'm not even going to share that number. The first thing you have to do is get started. And many of y'all won't even get started. because it's easier for you, even if you're someone who's cool and you've gotten to talk to me or you whatever. It's only okay for you to sit there and be a chatter with weird fucking avatars in the fucking chat. And for those who sit there and they talk to me in the chat, they talk to me on fucking Discord, they talk to me in emails. Most of y'all won't do that. And you think that somehow, you know what? I don't gotta worry about wrestler because you know why? You ain't doing shit, wrestler. I'm gonna get me 25 cents more of a raise at the end of the year. You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. I should not absolutely compete with your 25 cents that's coming at the end of the year. You're absolutely right. I won't tell you anything otherwise. If you don't dream enough for yourself, I'm damn for sure not going to help you out to dream for anyone else. When I dream, it's not me dreaming for myself only. I dream for the people that I could be putting in a better position. I don't just dream for me. I dream for everyone that's going to be around me. And you guys mainly are just thinking about yourself. This is why you guys laugh, but I say this all the time. Like if I'm coming up and I'm doing really well and shit immediately start happening, I already know the first people even on social media who's coming up with me. And the sad part about it is that we gonna be running shit and you won't even know what happened because it's gonna look normal, gonna feel normal, but it won't be normal. It won't be normal. You'll see the same old avatars, same old shit, but the quality of life would have changed. And you would never know because what would you know outside of avatars, right? Here's the funny part. KM said something like, I'll be your pimp. If I'm really making that kind of money and a person said, you know what? I was thinking about talking to you, but I really want to meet Crazy Mama. What makes you think I wouldn't put you in that position if it means that we all make money in the long run? Now, what you did once they met you, that ain't my business. That's not my business. That's not my business. I was in the lobby. I don't know why the conference room was so steamy, you know? That got nothing to do with me. I don't know why the conference room was so steamy. I was in the lobby, so I don't know nothing about that. You know what they said in the hotel lobby, and after the hotel lobby is the after party, and after the party, it's probably this. When the conference room was KM showing her tits, that got nothing to do with me. Fiesta. That got nothing to do with me. Got nothing to do with me. But you know, she's pimping me out. So as my manager, you know, I don't know what she does in the meantime. I was in the after party. I was in the lobby. I was in the hotel lobby. I was in the after party. I don't know what was happening. And I don't know what happened in that conference room. I wasn't there. That wasn't part of the lyrics. It's the after party in the hotel lobby, and it wasn't the conference room. So I don't know what was happening there. So you know what I mean? You laugh, KDK, you laugh, but that's the story. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. You know what I said? After the party, it's the after party, and after the party, it's the hotel lobby, and after the lobby is probably this. They ain't talk about KM showing her tits. They didn't talk about the conference room and what she had to do and catch the all boom boom and what she had to do to stretch her stud. And to get that money, she probably showed her butt. Like they didn't mention that extra part. They just cut to the after party and they went fiesta. They didn't mention all that extra shit. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. So like we don't talk about that. We don't cover none of that shit. You know what I mean? If she, you know, as they said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if she gathered a lot of additionals, I'm gonna say it was for the fam. What she did for all of us. And I appreciate her. When someone says, "Hey, when you secure that, like, like that 250,000 contract, did you toot your ass up?" And I'm like, "Hey, what she did is what she did for us. You shut your fucking ass up." You know what I mean? Shut your fucking mouth. We don't talk about that. What we talk about is the after party, and the after party came the hotel lobby. We don't talk about nothing else outside of that. You understand me? Don't you ever get out of place. Don't you ever talk about what happened to KM's ever. Whatever happened in that point is not anyone's business. I can talk about how much shit I slayed. You know, I can talk about the shit that's gone down, the shit that we did. I can talk about how many contracts I had to sign. I had to let some busted Brendas suck on my left. But what we not gonna do is talk about the one time when the soldier of our group came through, did what she had to do, and you're gonna sit there. So that person who gave us that extension, did he give you extension in your? Hey, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Keep your fucking mouth shut. If you want to still be a part of this team, you keep your fucking mouth shut. You understand this? In fact, go get her a drink. Go get her a fucking drink right now. I don't give a fuck what it is. You get her a fucking drink and you make sure it's filled to the fucking brim, the same way how her was filled to the fucking brim. And you celebrate her. You understand me? Fiesta, 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 fiesta. And we say, for all you do, KM, this bud's for you. So it is what it is. And then we play the Mariah Carey song. We do a whole fucking karaoke night. I give my all to have just one more night with you. I give my cheeks to feel that something next to mine, 'cause you can't go on living in the memory of my. Hey, whoa, KM, that's a little too much. We need pull off the stage. She's singing a little. She's singing a little too deeply. Pull off the stage. Pull her off the stage. She's talking a little. She's getting a little too deep with the singing. Pull her off the stage. Pull her off the stage. She's saying a little too much. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Pause. Shut the karaoke down. She's singing a little too much. A little too much. That's crazy. That is crazy. Good job, but we can't let you have the mic no more. You understand, right? You doing a little too much, Cam. Like, it's all right. You say that until you see those proper numbers. When you see there's more zeros, when you see that briefcase and someone says, "Have you ever held this much money in your arms at once?" You're gonna be like, "And what do I have to do?" Just let's just say like a good 10 minutes. 10 minutes where? Have you ever held this much money? Have you ever had 250,000 in a duffel bag? And all of this just for like 10 minutes in your Can you imagine that? She's like, I've never no, I've never seen that much money. 15 minutes? It's like, yeah. And then they be pumping it, they be pumping her up. Pause. They be pumping her up. They be like, yeah, you're an American gladiator. Honestly, the guys over here, they not even built like that. You understand, KM? They're not even built like that. You can take them. The guys that we're talking about, they're built like this. They're built like breadsticks. That's the way they're built, Cam. They're built like breadsticks. But the guys afterwards, that's a different story. They're stacked like meat. They are. And at the end of the day, you know, they're coming after the yams. You know what I mean? They're coming after the yams. So, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I give my all to have. And we don't know any better because, after the party, it's the after party and no chases with me. After the party, it's the hotel lobby and Zoomers with me. And after that party, it's probably this, and I probably bring Chris. And after that party, it's probably Chris. Fiesta. Yo, hey, Cam, why you walking like that? Why you walking like that? You good? We good? Come over here. Get on the dance floor. Fiesta. You said you can't shake it like that? Why? Stop playing. Stop playing. Oh, you said it hurts? Like you need a cushion or something? You know what? I got you, KM. You know what? Since you worked so hard for us, here's what we got. We got a sit stool for you. We got a sit stool for you. We got a sit stool just for you, KM. We got a sit stool for you, so you ain't gotta worry about it's got a little opening too, right for your anus. It's your back posture and everything, but it's got a little a little sitting area for the contour. So like, you're good. You're good afterwards. You know what I mean? You're good afterwards. So it's all good. It's all good. Hey, you know what? Put it here for the team. For the team. For the team. For the team. Yo, you the real. As much as we've been putting down the P, you're the real MVP. You're the real MVP at the end of the day. We couldn't have done it without you. Without you. Without you. Oh, oh, oh. But cheeks can't live without you. And oh, we can't live. Come on, Cam. Without you. It's all good. Like I said, if I come up, she's gonna come up. It is what it is. See, she can say anyways, but here's the funny part. If the money start ranking in, if you ever notice KDK, if you ever notice that KM gets really quiet in the chat, just know if she ever gets really quiet, if all of a sudden she's not even talking about whatever, wrestler, whatever you say, wrestler, you're full of shit, wrestler. I hate this fucking guy, wrestler. And then all of a sudden I'm like, damn, Cam was putting in work, and she gets quiet, KDK. She get quiet, mama. Why is that? Hmm? Why is she quiet? I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying. It is what it is. We need a song for that moment, Cam. We need a song for that moment. Anyone got a song for that moment? We got a song. We need a song for when those dreams come true. We need a song. Come on. We need a song. Anyone got some lyrics in mind? Don't let me drink enough so we can start getting some lyrics in mind. You know I'm gonna make this up, right? You know that contract stole your girl, living in a different world. Mm. But with the contract and Canaan going in, you know that contract hit them skins again. Yeah, it did. Mm. No, we gotta work. We gotta work on the lyrics. We gotta work on the lyrics. Come on, Cam. You gotta save you gotta save it now. You gotta make sure when we drop this lyrics, it's gonna be a really good song. I got a song in my head right now. I just gotta make it become reality. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, I got a beat in my head. I just don't have lyrics yet. I don't have lyrics yet. You better make sure you don't seal your feet. You don't seal your fate, girl. You don't seal your fucking fate. I don't even got a title for it yet. Don't you fucking make me get a title for it, KM. Mm. Yeah, you said dance for me, boy. Yeah. I got a beat in my head. I just gotta make the beat happen. I just need lyrics now. Ooh, how you feel, ladies? Do I need to do a community post for the possible future song for the KM contract signing? You know what? We may have to label the song that the contract signing. That's what we're gonna do it. No, is it the contract signing? Maybe we should name it. What should we label? What should we call the title of the song? Because the beat is in my head. I don't know how I'm gonna make it happen. But we need a title of the song, and then we need to come up with lyrics for the song. First of all, what's the title of the song? Mm, baby girl in here too. Baby girl's in here. Baby girl is in the building. So, baby girl, what should the title of the song be? Hoover's in the building too. We need a title of the song. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. I got it. I got it in my head. I need some lyrics and I need a song title. And there we go. There we go. And it's our ooh. Ju- Leopard says she's just in time. Oh, we need a song. We need a song for the KM contract signing. Mm, 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 mm. I got an idea of a song in my head. Woo! Don't say get your boy. Oh, I got it in my head now. Ooh. Of all the songs, I got a song in my head. I just need lyrics and then the title for the song. Oh, KM, you messed up now. And we gotta call it something. We gotta call it the contract. We gotta call it the sign in. I don't know. We gotta call it something. Name it. I got it. What's the name of the song, Hoover? What's the name of the song? I've never been able to control him. That's right. She can't control me with her face in the goddamn pillow. She can't control me. She can't do it. You need to know that. So what's the name of the song, Hoover? Name of the song, Hoover? I gotta really work to make sure I get that. Shorty with the skirt. Ooh, you know what? That might not be bad. Gatsby. Shorty with the skirt. I just need lyrics to really go with that, so it can fit the title. Shorty with the skirt, though. It's like a funky kind of vibe. You know what I mean? So shorty with the skirt don't sound that bad. Not gonna lie. Shorty with the skirt and a funky kind of vibe. It may not be that bad. Any other takers? Any other takers? You said KDK, it's fitting? Okay. You're going to agree with it. I just need some lyrics. I need to, you know what? We're already at midnight. I need to think about some lyrics for the song now. Ooh. Oh no, don't change your name. It's absolutely still Crazy Mama. I don't know anybody know not Crazy Mama. I'm trying to change your name. You're absolutely Crazy Mama. Absolutely from the start. Don't even think about thinking that you're gonna change your name. That is bullshit. You can try all you like. That Hoover does. She does wander around aimlessly. That she does. I gotta think about it now. Ooh, I got a beat in my mind. I just don't have any lyrics. I need a strong title. So far, Gatsby's giving me a title. Shorty with the skirt. Shorty with the skirt. In reference to the song, it's got a funky beat. And the matches. We may have to try to rock with that and try to make it try to work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we have to try. Well, he has to encourage my ass because I'm talking about who got in your ass. You know what I mean? You know, for this contract. The contract is the contract. The contract is the contract. You know what I mean? The contract be contracting. You know what I mean? So we need to make sure that the music fits properly for the contractor that be contracting. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we got to make sure. So he on it. He on it. I just need to make sure that it fits properly. I need some lyrics in my mind so we can get it going. The contract to be contracting, you know what I mean? Even for the song you guys heard today, do you know how long it took me to make the song that I made that I played today? It took me almost a week because I've been so busy. It took me almost a week to come up with this song. And it's crazy because the person who I'm thinking about when I made the song, it should have been sooner. It should have been a lot shorter. But it took me about a week to actually make that song. Craziness. So I know if I already got the thought of the music in my head, but I just need lyrics. To the shorty with the short skirt song, because if nobody gonna give me nothing new, it's gonna be shorty with the short skirt. That might have to be the name of the song. You know what I mean? And I ain't got no better name for it yet, so it might be shorty with the short skirt. It might have to be that name. Yes, KM. The song that I played earlier is actually a real life person that I poured my time into, and it took me about a week to make that song. It took me a week to make that song. And by the way, I'm still not comfortable with it, so it might still change. It might still change. But that's the current version I have of that song. It might still change though. The song that I played today twice is the actual song that I just made literally this morning. It took me a week, but I got it. I got it played this morning, and I'm thinking I still might change it, you know? And it's of someone who's in my past. You say it was a cool song? I'm pretty sure depending on who you talk to, it's good and it's not. It's cool and it's not. I'm pretty sure to her, it's gonna feel accurate. To me, it's gonna still feel annoying. So, and I'm pretty sure there's more I should be adding to the song. I just haven't thought about how to add it to it yet. But literally, I've been working on that song since what today's Monday, so I've been working on that since like I want to say like last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, I started working on that song, and I still haven't finished it yet. And even though I'm working on the music portion now, I'm still not too sold on the lyrics. I'm not entirely sold on the lyrics yet. I like the lyric. I like the chorus. I like the chorus of the song. I'm just not sold on the verses. But I like the chorus. The chorus is sold to me. I just don't like the lyric. Not even saying like. I'm not sold on all the parts of the lyrics, so I'm trying to. I gotta grab my Damn. Stop getting stuck. It's stuck. So I gotta write more in this book because this is where I got my lyrics at, and I gotta work on it because I'm thinking I wanna edit some of the verses. I don't know. I haven't decided, but I think I might want to work on some of the verses, and we'll work it out from there. I know people be all mad and shit. Like, oh, it's not you singing. Well, not for nothing. Whether it's a guy or a gal, you don't like when I'm pretty sure you don't want me singing like a goddamn woman. Weirdos, fucking ass weirdos, weird ass weirdos, everybody gay ass weirdos. I said what I said. I said what I said. It's weird. People who like, I'm never gonna go in that far because I might be insulting people. Really weird ass shit. You know what I mean? But as much as I played what I currently have, I'm not too sure if that's gonna be the final lyrics just yet. I'm not really sure that's gonna be a final lyrics yet. I'm still working on it. But Is what it is. But we are 12:14 in the morning. This is a stream that we're kind of just like winging it. So, put into the actual stream title. What are we doing tonight? What we doing tonight? Because we talked about a couple of things, and then of course, Cellulite from Cellulite Podcast came up there. Will came up, and we talked about a couple of things that was happening in those spaces. What else might be going on through your mind? I would never talk about shit from Dr. Seuss. Well, how old are we? I would never think of Horton as a who because, quite frankly, I'm so fucked up from that. I'm so fucked up from the movie. Because when I first saw the movie, I was high. And I was thinking with the way how the Whovians, mouths are shaped, I'm thinking some of these chicks might have actually given some fire head. That's my personal thinking because when I went to go see the movie originally, I was actually high. So, not the greatest position to see that movie in. Even when I say a position, that's crazy. So instead of Horton was a who, it's like I'm wondering who was the who. You know what I mean? So who was the who to get me off? You know what I mean? Because the way how their lips and they always had the rosy cheeks and shit, and they had the weird fucking for. Listen, some of them, I'm just wondering who was the who was the one to get it. Who was the who to get me off? You know what I mean? And he's the sad part about it. If you really don't want to look at it, if you want to be racist, you know what I mean? Whoever the who was, they were all white women. There's no who that wasn't Caucasian. I'm just pointing it out there. You didn't see any other ethnicity that was a who. Come on, think about it. Think about it. Exactly. There was no other ethnicity outside of Caucasian that was a who. So whoever was gonna give me that Hoovian special, right? It was gonna be a nice little white woman. It was gonna be the white woman. The white woman who was gonna be that with her porcelain skin. The porcelain skin white woman was gonna suckle on the nibble of my coxes and make sure that I was sent to the upper echelon of where the Negroes needs to be. For you Uncle Ruckus niggas. You know what I mean? That's what it was gonna be. So, you can say Horton was a who. You can say Havana was a who. You could say Hannah was a who. You could say horchata, if you look at her being Spanish, was a who. Like all you heifers was a who. And y'all all had the nice little weird facial structure and the big cheekbones and the lips that be protruding past the fucking, and you look like you were good throat goats. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, just saying. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. See, my thing about that, when you talk about the cat in the hat, is not the fact that you bring the part that was the zing, but it was about the thing 1 and 2 that I thought about which one should I do. One of those things was a girl, and I would wonder if they were twirl. They were crazy in their hair, but then again, I did not care. They fucked up the room good and dandy, but I felt like the box was good and randy. I'm just saying. Thing one could watch, but thing two probably got the box. And while I wasn't just about the pussy, I was all about getting in the shit that is squishy. And so if two knew exactly what to do, then only left up to exactly who they look like, which was what? A who. So if after I bust all over those yams, yes, because I'm hungry, I do like green eggs and ham. Something to think about. There's something to think about, Hoover. It's just something to think about, Hoover. Just saying. See, they always said that, when it came to thing one and thing two, they didn't know what to do. And that's because their imagination didn't go that far. See, thing one and thing two were twins. They were twins. You just had to examine them to understand what the biz was. It didn't help that the fact that they were scary or the fact that their hair was blue and hairy. You just had to look at the things that were to be mendered, and the things that mender was, of course, their gender. And once you found out what the thing that mattered, then you know what clickety clattered. And the thing that clickety clattered was, of course, not the socks, but of course, it was the viscous innards of their box. Mm. Mm. And I would say, don't worry so much about that meander, because I was worried about what's all up in their candor. And if off that candor was all that they can do, then I would say, was Horton really a who? And if Horton was a who, then I don't have to worry about you, because I'm not too concerned with thing one, but rather thing two. Because that is the one that I need. And it doesn't matter if she's a virgin because she bleeds. What matters is that she gives me the thing I'm yearning, and not simply the thing I'm thinking about jerking. So when I'm finished, what do you think, Hoover? What do you think, Hoover? Did I do my job? Did I do my job, Hoover? Hmm? Did I do my job? I'm not worried. First of all, I'm not worried of Woolly Bully, because right there in the beginning of it says Woolly Bully. That's way too much. If Woolly Bully can't talk to me because Woolly already was a bully, and I don't need to worry about if anything else that even equals to the end of should he, because they already started with Woolly Bully. His name is Woolly. That is absolutely. Absolutely, from the beginning. His name was Wooly. You don't name females Wooly. And it also ended in should he. So we don't worry about that, mama. But the thing about thing one and thing two is that even the cat in the hat didn't know what to do. And even when you turn around and look at the movie, he didn't even know which way that he should. Or should he? So therefore, when I looked at thing one and thing two, it didn't matter because both looked like they could give up the goods. They both looked like women between all the meander, and all I thought was they can give me that candor. And as much they pushed back and their nose was so thin, I thought about shit. What the hell would look like when they give me that grin? So I don't worry about the cat in the hat. I don't worry about whether that's skit and that scat. I don't worry about even really thing one and thing two. I just worry about what the hell they're going to through. But if I had to pick between one or the other, I say to give me the one that is not the brother. See how easy this is when you really categorize and figure out your biz. And you don't gotta worry about the thing one, the thing two. You don't gotta worry about what the fuck you're going to do. You don't worry about being confused with the other. You don't have to worry about which one is sister and brother. You just make sure your performance is this or that, and you don't gotta worry about this fucking cat in the hat. But so many of y'all are so fucking confused, and that's why you guys are stuck on thing one and thing two. Can I say it? I can. W's. W's. You don't understand. I've been thinking about this kind of stuff ever since we talked about the little old lady that lived in the shoe. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Yeah, 100. I'm 100%. Yeah, you can be 100% confused, KDK. I've been thinking about the cat in the hat and thing one and thing two ever since the woman that lived in the shoe that had too many kids and she didn't know what to do because she was an absolute thought and an absolute bot. And she didn't know what to do because her ass was too busy trotting. I've been thinking about this for a while. So I know which one to pick out. Especially when they did a movie version. I knew exactly which one to pick out. So you can be confused all up in your head, but I will not be confused which thing is all up in my bed. I don't know. It depends. It depends if these is bars or if these are words that should be put up in yards. And if they're yards, they should be put up in the barn. And it doesn't matter if they're in the barn because they should be up in heads. And if they're in the heads, they should be put in the beds. And the bed should be put up in spin. And the spin all depends on when and when. And when and when is all about what's needed. And that all depends on the books on who is reading. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now the question is, what you gonna do with it? Mm. Listen, you can be reading, but the question is, who else is reading? Who else is reading? I mean, even Cameron said it first. She didn't give me no bread, plus she didn't give me no head. Just saying. Just saying. Cameron said it himself. Cameron was the one that started me off. So he's the one that started me off on all the rhyming when it comes to Dr. Seuss. So, what else could I do? I don't want to hear about no one else talking about not being able to talk about doing Dr. Seuss or whatever else like that, especially when we have someone as early as the Yin Yang twins. Will Sue while you twerk. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I don't want to hear about nothing. We hear way too many people who have not gone beyond preschool fucking reading in order to make even music. Or how many people are talking about, oh my God, I think this music is so great because it was the fucking Rugrats. You sound like a fucking fool. You sound like a 100% moron. Oh my God, this song is so great. Do, 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 do. You sound like a fucking idiot. So no, I don't want to hear that people can't rhyme off of Dr. Seuss when people find so many other children's fucking shows to do rhymes off of. You can shut that shit all the way the fuck down. All the way down. Not a little bit, not a lot of bit. All the way down. You can cut that bitch all the way off. All the way off. If you got songs, but you can't even deny it, that has fucking songs that come from children's fucking streams, children's fucking shows, you can't talk to me about Dr. Seuss. It's over and done with. It's over. O-B-A-H. It's over with. So I don't want to hear no difference about it. The moment people decided they want to make kids' songs into rhymes, into rap lyrics, put it into music, you already lost. I don't want to hear nothing else. Nothing. Nothing else to talk about. So if you sitting there talking about Dr. Seuss didn't really have it, you're a liar and a ninja. Don't matter how nasty the song is. The fact of the matter is that they made it, mama. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how nasty it is. Doesn't matter how clean it is. The fact of the matter is that they made it outside of its true intention. That's the thing that matters. So there you go. And you know what else speaks of there you go? Me. I have been on for 3 motherfucking hours. I didn't even expect to be on for today. And I still gave you guys 3 fucking hours. Shout out to Cellular Podcast. Shout out, of course, to shout out to Raw B, who's actually here as well. Shout out to everybody who's here in the content. Nadia came, Nadia left. I know it is is it the weekend? No, it's Monday. Motherfuckers don't know what the fuck to do with yourself on Monday. I don't know. Go take out some trash or something. Either way, I'm gonna do the same. Deuces. The fuck? Fuck is we talking about here? Go to bed, go jerk off or something.